himself a crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over. Nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Time for the crossover, powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair at Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Hello, Matt Josh.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys
Great.
today?
We have a lot of ground to cover.
On the crossover or
Yes.
on your show? Because we could just end the crossover and give you plenty
We
of time
could.
for your show.
And then you would say, we're off and rolling.
And it's going to be a great show.
Uh-huh.
I forgot to do
Sticks
that
is
yesterday. Yeah, I forgot to do that bit yesterday. What, you don't like off and rolling? You a fan of that? Not a fan of that?
I like it. Fine. Yeah.
That's kind of, I don't know, just easy to come into.
That's
you know?
fine. Yeah.
I
You
tried
can say whatever you want.
I tried doing a Michael Wilbon thing on my sign off, and then it hasn't really stuck.
Catch you later, knuckleheads.
No, I was saying suckers and Da show, but it was because it's
What?
like Da show, like that.
I can't believe it didn't stick.
Yeah.
Wait, so how would you end it?
Something along the lines like, we'll talk to you suckers tomorrow. Thanks for listening to the show. And then move.
You were combining two bits into one.
Exactly. I like combining.
Never
bits.
combine two
stacking.
bits.
A bit maxing, some might say,
Yes.
is what I was trying to do.
What's the other word that goes?
Mog.
Yeah.
Mog.
You
Funny-
mogged your own bits?
Yes, I've mogged my own show. People often say that Josh is mogging me on the show, but I'm getting clavicularly mogged all the time. by Josh.
Effortlessly.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Am I doing
I don't
good?
know. I mean, you're doing great. I
Okay.
love having you on the show. I very much enjoy your presence.
I love having a show to be on.
Thank you. Me too. I'm a big fan of that as well. A couple of things funny. I was walking in my car today. If you were to look at Josh Odson's pre-show text, we were a little sparse for topics this morning. I was just trying to find things, and I'm walking in my car and I'm like, oh yeah, the CBS coaches ranking. That's the top 25 is supposed to come out today because everything, all the other ones came out yesterday, and I was very excited for that. I hop in the car, and what comes on but Connor Happer's beautiful voice saying the CBS coach rankings are out, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, we got to do my best to not steal their takes,
That's,
It's
but
just the
that's
news.
okay. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Just
I have
put
a-
your Matt spin on it.
I have a couple of questions for you guys. So number one, I think that Dan Lanning, and I don't mean to, we'll get out of sports.
So
in a
you have
second.
no topics and you want to talk with us about topics?
No, I have topics.
Okay.
I have plenty of topics.
All right.
I got a lot of topics today. But I was like,
I've never known you to have a shortage of
Yeah.
topics.
Your
well,
opinions.
I had a shortage of topics for my standards. Some people's standard amount of topics is probably my shortage of topics to talk about. It's probably what we're measuring up to. I do want
You
to
could
ask
have
you.
less topics.
Well, we never get to all the topics that we get to, and then we kind of consolidate them into the most important topics. I'm all about topic consolidation, is what I'm all about. I
You
like to
could steal that from PTI stuff you don't get to. You just cram into the last minute and you rip through it.
We've-
Some topics
we
don't
do-
fit in the trash compactor.
We call that the car wash.
Oh, okay.
Whenever I have a bunch of topics that and I'm scarce for time because I've talked too much about other things or talked too long about the other topics, I go, all right, car wash time, and we squeeze everything together. That's typically where baseball falls into.
We just leave it on the sheet and then it dies off by the end of the week if it never makes it on.
I've had a couple of dead topics.
We
before,
should
for
do
sure.
on Fridays is an RIP to the stuff that we never got to throughout the week.
Oh, like an in memoriam.
Yeah. We just have Joey play some, music over. We give like a little eulogy to the topics that never existed.
We could do that.
Now, would you just read like the headline of the topic, or would you actually discuss it for like 2 minutes or something?
I don't want to discuss it because
Yeah.
that would ruin the bit.
I think it'd be just
I think
really.
we just give the general overview of what the topic was, but you're ripping through them.
I think you just come up with a creative headline though for every topic, so no one really knows what you were going to talk about. It's just a funny headline, and then they'll never know.
Like dog shoots woman at convenience stores.
Yeah, no, not that.
I really wish there were more details to that other than
Was it a
dog shoots
BB?
woman
Was
at
it a
convenience store.
BB
Now,
gun
as a
or a
shotgun,
shotgun?
the BBs came out of the shotgun.
Yeah.
We learned
Okay.
about guns today.
Yeah.
On the show.
I hate guns.
So is it? I mean, I've only shot one ever.
That's what I'd say.
How am I the guy with the? Well, I don't know. Maybe Josh
What do you
has
mean?
a plethora
I-
of shooting experience.
Duck
Columbus.
Nintendo Zapper.
I mean, Columbus is part of it.
Knowing where I grew up, do you think it'd be the smartest thing for me to just be walking around with guns shooting at
I
things?
kind of assumed you did what some of the other city folk I know when I went to college did, is you befriended the country folk and then got into it.
Okay.
And you get into the you go out
So
to
accurate.
you go out to the family farm with
Yeah.
the guy that you've known for 2 weeks and
Yeah.
you're shooting guns and
That
kicking back bush lights and all of that.
literally happened. Like that exact
That's-
thing happened.
That's why college exists.
I just shot the 12 gauge.
genuinely to give people an opportunity to mash up life experience.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I'm glad that happened.
Ben Wilkie brought me out to Stand, Nebraska, to Wilkie Farms, and we went fishing, and we fished a lot. And then he took me back to the shed. He was like, "You want to shoot a gun?" And I'm like, "Never shot it before." He's like, "Beautiful," and showed me the 12 gauge shotgun, and then I shot a couple skeet, and that was it. And then I was like, "Cool, I've shot a gun before. I can say that I've done that." And
There
that
you
was
go.
that. And then he taught me how to hold a pistol. He's like, "You want
heavier than you thought it was going to be.
way heavier than I thought it was
Yep.
going to be."
I
He's
was
like,
telling Connor.
He's like, sit back like you're gonna throw a football.
Connor's 2% committed to going to a gun range.
I would go to a gun range.
You should. It's
I would enjoy that. But he was like, sit back like you're gonna throw a football, and then put it out there, and he measured my base and everything, and then the knuckles down and it was great. I was like, cool. Now I'm ready for every time I see Ben.
Just turn it sideways.
No, I did not turn it sideways.
That's
Don't.
a kill shot.
Every time I see Ben now, though, we practice holding a pistol, because he's like, you got to practice for home invasion,
Sure.
So it's like when I see Ben, we hug, hey, great to see you, and he goes, all right, get in your stance,
That's weird.
That's
And then-
weird.
And he's like, well, he wants to make sure I'm ready, for when he thinks.
I think a better way to be ready is actually having a gun.
He's convinced that at some
Don't
point
buy a gun, man.
he always tells me, he goes, you're gonna buy a gun.
Don't
Okay.
have a gun.
I don't need a gun. I'm okay.
You don't need a gun.
I don't need a gun. Not now. Maybe in 10 years when I have a home. Maybe. I don't
You think you're going to have a home in 10 years?
know. Great question. Absolutely.
I have never.
not.
You the
Absolutely
people in
not.
your generation are.
You hate this. We've had this conversation.
You
5
guys
times.
are so resigned to never buying houses. You guys are just like, it's over
Well,
for
in
me.
their defense,
I can't do
starter
it.
homes are going to be like 500,000 in a few years.
At some point.
Where do you think this guy's getting equity in his avocado toast?
Thank you.
You got to start somewhere.
Coffee is $6. All right.
Well,
It's
don't
Stop
drink
buying coffee.
Boom.
I can't. I love the turtle.
No, then you're not going to have a house.
because I buy. What are you, Dave Ramsey?
Yes.
I have a house because I buy too much coffee.
Yes.
Yeah,
Are you
think
the
clear, I
man
don't
who told me
subscribe
to get
Dave
into debt?
Ramsey either.
I just, you gotta prioritize whatever you're prioritizing.
Either get into debt or buy a house. You're either one or the other.
You
at
can do
this
both.
point.
You can do both.
Well, you do both. And
You just have to consciously think about,
getting into debt.
I mean, your best opportunity to buy a house is to combine incomes.
So I was going to say that. At some
And-
point, I think getting married and then being able to split the rent 50-50.
it's a big helper.
Yeah. Get an extra income.
At some point, someone you know is going to die, and you'll get a gift.
I
That'd be
don't want
nice.
to. I don't want to. No, it would not be nice.
I mean, you get a house.
It's what they want.
Whoa.
It's what they would have wanted.
I don't want people to die in order for me to benefit. I don't want, and I don't want to. There's a lot of old people in my life,
never
and I'm
received
coming
an
back from a
inheritance.
memorial.
I've never been
Yeah.
summoned to listen to a
Oh.
will and then being told what
Yeah.
I've received. This is a good thing, by the way. I'm pointing that out.
Mhm.
this
I've
is-
never
this is good.
received.
You could
any-
get better at Dog of the Day.
Yeah, but I don't bet those all the time. I only bet.
Oh,
during
you give
football.
out bets, but you don't actually bet them.
Fraud.
At this point, dog of the day is a formality.
What are you, Ben
until-
Solak?
The dots
Dots
guy. God.
I like you. I know you don't.
I
like Ben
hate the
Solak.
dots guy.
I know.
I didn't know
Look
that's
at what the
he did.
dots do.
This is the easiest.
He could have thrown it to that
This
I
is-
dot.
find him
this
to be
is the
the most
easiest
annoying football
prediction.
personality in my life.
Well, I think Ben Solak is the
He
classic.
thinks he's incredibly smart, and then real football people are like, "Well, actually, this is what they're doing." on the play."
Exactly. Thank
So
you.
Take your little analysis
Yeah.
as to why this guy sucks based on what you're claiming, when that's not what he's attempting to do.
Ben
Turn
Sol-
it sideways, and place it gently.
He could have thrown
where
it
the
to
sun
that
goes.
dot at that exact moment when he was that dot.
Ben Solak is the classic guy who's insecure about the fact that he didn't play football, so he tries to throw.
But
as
he
many,
acts like he's a genius.
so he tries to
he
throw
makes
out.
every coach seem like they're a moron because they didn't do exactly what Ben Solak
The
would have done in that
dots.
moment.
The dots.
I
Yeah,
hope Josh
he's-
Peterson's listening because he loves Ben Solak.
He's
too.
very well, I like Ben Solak, but not because Ben Solak is telling me about like nickel and dime, and like what Nick Amenwari is supposed to do. I like Ben Solak because
Didn't tell you about the penny.
no, he didn't tell me about it
Let's
at
hear
all.
it.
About
Ben
the JFK
Solak.
coin.
Like I like it because he does actually bring some interesting analytical stats every once
The
in a while.
dots.
And he is pretty
has
informative.
good information.
Very good
His
information.
presentation is off-putting.
He definitely does, but he gets insecure about the fact that he's a skinny guy who never played football, and so he feels the need to tell you all of the fancy football terms he knows to make you convinced that he knows so much about the game. He doesn't really need to do that. And somebody who doesn't do that, who's actually very good at balancing that, is the person he hosts with the most, which is Mina Khan.
Yeah.
I think Mina does a great job of knowing a lot about football, but not being super obnoxious all the time about what she knows. She is pretty basic about it.
Just has a football conversation.
Yes, he goes overboard. I completely agree with you. I still like him, but there are moments where I'm like, I skip through it. I'm like, I don't need to know about the cover 3 you think Mike McDonald is currently running. Like, it doesn't really, honestly, it doesn't really interest me all that much. Like, I like just watching football and being able to be like, oh, the tackle did terrible there. Oh, who's the tackle? Oh, he sucks.
That's a good take, Matt.
Great. Oh, look
I
at the
concur
running
with
back.
this entire thing.
He picked the wrong hole. Who's that running back? Wow, he shouldn't get more carries. That's how you watch football. If you're not a football player, if you
Or
grew
coach.
up or a coach, if you're a football player, you watch it in a very different way. And I don't need to watch it the way a football player watches.
I just know whenever those dots appear for the first time in September, I'm going to get triggered.
This is
I'm
the
excited
least,
to know that
the
you
least
are also
surprising
not
thing,
a
by
Ben
the way,
Solak.
is you not liking Ben Solak. Like that,
I'm fine with him. I don't like the dots.
I could have predicted that. You just are very different people. Like, you're a very smart guy, but you're pretty nonchalant about it. He is a smart man and cannot be less nonchalant about the fact that he's intelligent.
Just obnoxious. is what it is.
Exactly. That's what being chalant is, right? He's a very chalant
Some dudes want
man.
to tell you how smart they are and how
Mhm.
cool they are. I only want to tell you how dumb I am. And stop responding to my tweets. No more responses.
Hey, can you retweet
No
that
more
if you haven't already?
interaction.
Yeah, let me go. I'm just gonna retweet so
You're-
dumb.
I don't.
What
mean-
has happened
I
to
don't.
me, Josh?
I don't mean to relitigate, but your baseball tweet Sunday was the single most innocuous
you.
tweet ever, and people are like, "Nope, idiot."
They
Thursday.
found somehow
Which one on
4
Sunday?
they the
So
Oh,
thing-
that'd have been on Monday.
they somehow found 4 things to disagree with, and there was only 2 takes in the entire thing.
Which
It's-
one are you talking about?
He said that it's the
They're
Lincoln
disagreeing with
Regional
my face.
is the
My
hardest
face isn't part of
regional.
the tweet.
Nebraska
And
somehow
also-
got the
yeah.
toughest overall regional on a matchup with the worst team in the
Hit
entire
retweet.
field.
No, do
Retweet.
not touch that tweet.
I retweeted it.
Stop it.
Let me like it and let me quote tweet it
You
too.
can quote tweet it and be like, "This guy,
This
dot,
guy.
There's
Face
data
palm.
out there that if you remove South Dakota State, if you
Ooh,
remove
and then I can
everybody's
retweet your
4
quote.
seed,
Retweet my quote tweet.
No
Retweet-
more interaction.
Retweet my. So I just quote
I'm not
tweeted.
doing tweets anymore.
I-
I'm done.
I quote tweeted Nebraska somehow got the toughest overall regional with this guy facepalm. Let's have Schaefer go ahead and retweet that. Can we also get the Middays with Matt account to retweet that tweet as well? We really want to resurface
we'll get on that.
This is unfortunate.
Let's just really pump up. And actually, let me go ahead. Oh, Jacob Bigelow retweeted it. Thanks.
Because I feel
Diggs.
bad
Good.
because, sometimes I want to be, like at the end of the Creighton season the other day, I was like, man, great job by these guys, whatever, end of the season, and they were a great group of guys who just never really complained the
Yeah,
entire
they moved
year.
out.
And somebody was like,
I'm
and so-
watching the numbers move in real time.
somebody was like, what would they have to complain about? They sucked. And I'm like, hey, I'm trying to be nice. Stop it. Please stop doing
I
this.
saw one of the guys move out, and in particular, I didn't see him move out. I saw him outside the apartment sitting down on a chair, either calling his girlfriend or his agent or whomever it might be, and I watched his dad move out from the apartment.
Nice.
And I actually held doors open for his father. I actually did more work moving this guy out than he did himself.
Well, sometimes you're busy,
Definitely probably was tough.
Should be some NIL money for moving. That should be a thing.
Oh,
You know, like get a moving company involved with
that.
this.
I mean, I didn't get NIL money for moving, but I definitely did get help with moving, which was very nice.
Yeah.
It's a great negotiating tool. I was just like, I'm broke. I can't move to Omaha. Please help. It was great. But anyway, I was going to retweet So Dumb as well. By the way, too.
That was just a Royals tweet.
This tweet about the toughest regional, like did you read the CBS Sports article that came out yesterday about the NCAA baseball tournament?
Absolutely not.
The first.
Why would I read that? They don't care about baseball.
Okay, I did. Okay. I also don't care about college baseball. Well,
but there was a bit of confirmation bias in that.
I care about
they said
Nebraska and Creighton baseball.
They said what I said.
The number one headline was Nebraska gets the region of death.
Why do you hate UNO?
Or UNO too. Okay. I like local.
And yes, UNO.
Local baseball.
I really like that song.
Me too. It's a great song.
It gets stuck in my head, I think, almost as much as our
Just
own.
wait till they hear the Summer Happer and Schaefer song.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Is that coming Friday?
I don't know. I haven't got an update since
Is it
last
like
week.
a yacht rock vibe?
It is Beach Boys. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
If you looked at my phone right now, the number one most looked up song in the last week is the Lido Shuffle. Or Lido Shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
I've been going up to my rooftop and tanning, and then I've been putting on yacht rock.
Oh, man.
Say these
Why
things
do you
out
say
loud.
that?
What, I can't get a tan in?
There are just times where you're like,
We're gonna
popping
make
up
fun
like
of
it's a
you.
whack-a-mole.
We have to make fun of you now.
Why? Why do you have to make fun of
We're
me?
just having a conversation. You're going to tell us something about college baseball. Now you get sidetracked. We're
Yeah.
talking about you tanning on top
what,
of your
what am I
roof.
going to tell you about college baseball?
You brought
You
it up.
said you
I
were
don't
doing
know.
the CBS Sports article thing,
Well, it said CBS Sports article agreed with you.
but then you said you're tanning.
Yeah.
And now we have to.
You undercut that whole point
Yeah.
to talk about tanning.
Yeah.
What was the point? The point was that it was agreed
We
with
don't
Happer.
know. You never made it. You
The
went to
point
tanning.
was it agreed with Happer.
But now we have to talk about the tanning.
What, there are pretty women up there that I want to talk to.
And they and you are tanning with them.
Should someone with your
Complexion.
be tanning?
I've been on Rhythm Kism Schism.
Okay.
And we're
And
good.
that allows you to
We're
okay.
good.
Yeah,
Look,
you know
can't-
your body better than
You
me.
can't see it.
Oh, I just mean your whiteness.
Yeah, I was worried about the sun.
Well, look,
I was actually talking about the Rhythm Kism and Rhythm.
Okay.
Look,
You look great.
Yeah, you seem fine, but you're very
I
white.
never really was worried about that.
Yeah, you're very white though.
well, I was
For a guy who can't say mariachi, you are extremely white.
I was with a guy and he was Latin, and in particular he was Mexican, and he looked at me and he was like, I could not tell at all.
Way more tan.
He was like, I could not tell at all that you were Cuban. And I was
No,
like,
you
I
wouldn't
was
be
like,
able to tell ever.
No one thinks you're cute.
No.
but I am. And I could tan. I'm trying to tan.
Not even sure people.
You
think
just
you're
look like a
Chicago.
normal white person. Yeah, I mean, you don't look any different than anybody else.
The pot calling the kettle black.
What do I look like?
A normal white person.
Yeah, oh, totally. But I
Yeah.
never claimed to be anything else.
Well, I'm
not the one saying
claiming-
mariachi.
Wait. I'm not claiming to be anything. I am it. Okay. I am Cuban. I am Latin.
But
There's
you
no.
can understand why
there's
people
no
think
You
it's
shouldn't
cultural
be
appropriation.
surprised when people say like, "Oh, I'm surprised you're Cuban."
Well, I mean, I'd like somebody to be like, oh, you
Nobody
got
knows
bushy
your family
eyebrows.
tree.
I wish they did. I got a great tree.
Wear the crest more often.
I don't think we have a crust. I did think of over the weekend, though, if I were to open a Mexican restaurant, what would it be? And I thought of you guys, and I think that you would like it. I would open a chimichanga restaurant. Okay.
Okay.
And
Tell me everything.
you order a chimichanga and you get two sides. All right. You either get like picadillo or platano frito or platano maduro, or you can combine two sides and you get one mofongo. All right. And now there will be two parts of my menu. Okay. One part called Latinos and the other part would be gringos. Okay. And the Latino part, you get like abuelita, carne asada, ropa vieja, all the classic Latin dishes in a chimichanga. And then the gringos part would be like buffalo chicken and a pizza chimichanga.
What do you think would sell
And
more?
I would probably guess the gringo side would sell
Interesting.
more than the Latino side.
I would
But
market
then-
your business to the gringos.
and then I would call, and like we get a Philly cheesesteak chimichanga and maybe like
Would
did I
eat
say a New England clam chowder chimichanga?
Would not eat that.
Or Will you not eat the buffalo chicken chimichanga?
I would.
You definitely would. I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
What chimichanga? You wouldn't eat a Philly cheesesteak chimichanga?
Oh, he said he would, I think.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
And then we would get
The clam chowder when I'm out. That's where I draw the
I
line.
love clam chowder.
You and your soup
Inside of a
right now.
burrito? What's
It's
wrong
a
with
chonga.
Yeah, but
You go straight to hell.
yeah, it's soup inside of a burrito. That doesn't work. It's not how
I
life
only
works.
want my soup inside of dumplings.
How does life work?
That's not how life works. You can't put soup inside of a burrito.
well, I
you
mean,
can put it inside a dumpling.
it's not necessarily a soup as much as it's a chowder, and it's got a thicker consistency.
Okay, it's soup.
I think we're drawing a line at soup, chowder, and stew, all being in a similar family, not being allowed.
I
in a
think a
burrito.
New England clam chowder chimichanga would taste pretty good.
I love clam chowder. I can't disagree with you there, but that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
What's the difference
Ever.
between
He's ever heard.
what is the
And
difference?
that man has
between-
heard many,
It's actually-
many.
it's
dumb
actually-
things.
Yeah, just look at the comments.
or your tweets. Let me see if there's any comments on my last tweet about it.
Probably not.
I don't know. I've been getting a lot of followers recently, but
Oh.
not the right type of followers.
Oh,
They've been asking me if I want to have a good time.
I've
or any of
received
them named Jennifer Aniston.
I've received a couple
unfortunately.
of different texts that I'd like to read. These are on my personal
Oh,
text machine.
you're getting your personal device out.
That's right. Does McMaster need a Cuban World Baseball Classic jersey to remind people he's Cuban?
Oh, interesting.
This
He
one,
wouldn't wear that though. He'd only wear the United States women's hockey jersey.
and then
They're really expensive. I have to wait for them to go down in price.
a text thread from a friend of us all here. So is he Cuban or Mexican? Why didn't he? But he said Cuban dishes at his Mexican restaurant. Surprisingly, but not really surprising.
That is interesting.
I love when Happer is triggered.
Have you been triggered?
Just in and out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
I think that with
I get triggered like 4 times a segment, usually.
yeah.
Things
probably
that I know that
high,
have annoyed him today. Comments that we had in the YouTube stream.
God, what is wrong with our comment section? Is so bad.
Conversation
Sorry.
about dirty
It's so
sodas.
bad.
Sorry about it. Sorry about that.
It
He
is
hates cream soda. I learned that today.
terrible. They're terrible.
You don't like cream soda?
Absolutely not.
I'm so indifferent about it.
Disgusting.
I really couldn't care less. I've
Uh,
never really had like I'm hankering for a cream soda.
Our YouTube chat has a comment from my wife.
Oh,
That sounds way better.
Yeah.
Can we stop making everything New England clam chowder?
Are we making things New England clam chowder?
See, I have the
believe
same-
that's back-to-back days of referencing New England clam chowder.
Well, yes,
by you.
I did. I had a New England clam
The
chowder
soup
pizza,
at Chicago's
and it was pretty great.
What was it like? Could you explain that to
It
me?
was saucy, it was it was chunky, it was tasty, but it really filled me
You're
up
just saying words that end in Y there that aren't
a little bit. Yeah. Jimmy goes, "Is that red or white?" I always get the white New England clam chowder. I don't like red New England clam chowder. I'm not a red chowder.
No, yeah, definitely.
I've never. Anytime though, like if there's a chowder on the menu, anytime, just any type of chowder, I'm just kind of like, I don't really even know what a chowder is other than a soup. I just always enjoy eating it.
Interesting.
corn chowder.
The
That's what I was thinking
top
of.
5 soup I've ever had at
Isn't
O'Hare
it like the
Airport.
starch and the whatever makes it the chowder?
I have no idea.
I certainly don't know.
Hmm.
Which
Jimmy
is-
goes movie quote. I know that's from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. It's a great movie. You like Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, probably.
I do. What's the quote?
New England clam chowder, red or white. When he's doing the password thing, he knocks on the door to get into the super secret area.
Okay. All chowders are soups, but not all soups are chowders.
Oh, I love that.
Soup is a broad category of liquid-based dishes, while
Sure.
chowder is a specific subtype characterized by being thick, chunky, and traditionally cream-based.
Yeah, isn't this what I just tried to explain to you as to why not put it inside of a chimichanga? And you
What?
were like, "It's not a soup, it's chowder."
Well, that's
But then you
what
were-
he explained.
You were
It's a
just
little bit
telling
different,
you were just telling me that soup is and you didn't know the difference.
but it's
I
thicker.
can't even imagine
Snip,
how many
snap,
people
snip,
would
snap.
No,
burn
it's
the
quicker.
inside of their mouth biting into your soup chimichanga where it's just boiling hot. And like they're gonna come after you.
Or they cut it open to prevent that from happening, and everything immediately falls.
And-
out.
yeah, then it's just a tortilla.
At least like again with the dumplings, you prick them a little bit, you let it come out, you let
What
the
is-
steam come out.
What is the difference between putting crackers in a chowder and putting a chowder inside a chimichanga? You're still getting the crunchy, texture contrast.
There is an expectation with a chimichanga that you are able to pick it up and eat it.
I never pick up a chimichanga.
Or you could cut it with a fork.
There you go.
Just bury your face in
No,
it?
I don't bury my face in it. I cut it
You
open.
eating it like a Snickers with
No,
a fork
I
and
eat
a
it.
knife?
Yes. You eat
What?
the Snickers with a fork and a knife?
The Seinfeld.
So
reference.
what happens when you deep fry the chimichanga with the soup inside? What happens to the inside?
I'm going to be real with you. I haven't gotten that far.
Sure.
You'd have to roll it up pretty good.
Yeah, it'd have to be pretty
What I'm
thick.
going to imagine is that we would roll it up, put it in the fridge, then we would transfer it over. We would flash freeze it so it gets.
Who's we here? Do you have a partner in your business?
I haven't had an angel
It could
investor.
potentially work. It almost reads more to me like a cannoli or something like that. You know, it just would feel like a filling of sorts.
That's
you know?
what it is.
Wait a minute. This is a Mexican-Italian fusion?
Well, more New
With
England.
a dash of New England clam chowder?
Yes.
Whoa.
Well, I said Latinos and gringos. Latinos will probably, we'll be all over the map. Same thing with gringos. We'll be all over the American. You'd have a pizza chimichanga. That'd be a pretty killer chimichanga. Pepperoni, tomato sauce, cheese.
I would entertain the idea.
Yeah.
With a nice little tomato sauce.
All this
on
is
top.
possible, but
I think chongas would do really well.
I'm sure it would.
They could be bigger than they are.
I'm
sure.
really just making the chimichanga version of DP dough because they're all about just making a bunch of calzones.
You know what? I'm going to be in Lincoln on Saturday. I'm going to make a push to go to DP Dough so I can have a calzone because I haven't had one in forever.
Forgot about my whole calzone thing. Yeah.
I think your
Open that
calzone
already.
thing is it's one of your greatest steaks.
Whatever happened to him?
I've seriously,
Is it a take or is it more of a question?
I think it's just an incredible observation.
Yeah, that's fair.
And he's got Ben Solacking where he goes ahead and he breaks down, the integrity of a, calzone.
Although I think it'd be a curious.
Everything the calzone is and isn't doing and why the calzone
Sarah Baker
should be
Hansen's
doing
supposed
that.
to get back to us next week about the calzones. I'll have to remind her to see if she did any digging.
No,
That's right. We did ask her about it. Yeah.
my wife is back in the chat and she says a pizza chimichanga kind of, you've just explained a stromboli.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Have you ever had a
I
stromboli?
don't have no idea what a stromboli is.
I think you'd be interested in a stromboli.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of meat and
You
bread.
could serve it in your Mexican,
I'm a meat and bread
Italian
guy.
fusion restaurant.
It's a calzone that's basically like a more tube shaped.
Smaller calzone.
Yeah.
Smaller calzone,
Yeah.
a mini calzone, a mini zone, if you will.
It's like a pie, a pizza pie,
It's like
but
a
just
rolled
rolled
up-
over.
Oh, typically, but is it fried?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a,
Well,
a
baked,
fried
it's
pin.
baked in
Okay.
that, Yeah.
Do you guys
You
have
egg wash it and then you bake it in
when
there.
I go to like a little like family party and they have the appetizers out there, and they have some people will get the pinwheels, right? Like the ham and cheese. I've never been. Some people just hammer the pinwheels. They just eat a bunch of pinwheels all the time. I've never been a pinwheel guy. I don't know. The consistency is weird. I don't like the wrap. I feel like the meat gets like kind of moist
You're just talking about
in the
roll-ups,
pinwheel.
basically,
Yeah, I
right?
don't. Yeah, not at all. Do you guys like those?
My in-laws, the
Those are
most desired item whenever they have like a gathering is these pickle roll-ups that I will not touch at all. But they go the fastest out of
Would you rather they be cut differently or something like that?
I would rather just have like a sandwich.
Well, of course. We're talking about appetizers.
Just mini sandwiches, like tiny little baby.
That's what I asked. Would you rather it be cut differently?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Oh,
Yes.
without
You
a
want the
doubt.
little triangular sandwiches. Nobody
Yes.
makes that as an appetizer, though.
I love
You want like a sandwich skewer type of
Yeah.
situation.
That's
You're
more of a
reading my
like
mind here.
catered hors d'oeuvre versus a party hors d'oeuvre.
I would agree. I would agree with that. I like a cucumber.
I've not gone to
sandwich.
anyone hosting a party where they have the little triangular sandwiches.
Have you ever been to like a house party where they have people serving, like walking around serving in the house?
Yes, I have.
That's pretty
But
sick.
I was only there to take coats for my boss.
Okay.
I got paid $200.
So you were a part of the staff.
I was staff that night.
Okay.
But there was servers. I was not one of them, but I was taking coats.
Yeah.
It was great.
Well, it's $200 for a couple hours.
Yeah. 2008, that went a long way.
That's the crossover, powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair and Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. That was fun. We will begin Middays with Mac coming up next here on 1620 The Zone.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're going to hurt some people.
Whose car are we going to take?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
That's an absolutely horse crap call. Make room for Daddy. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Chicago is.
This is Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
It is Matt live and rolling here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network. Matt McMaster, as always, joined by Josh Odson here on a beautiful Wednesday. Cannot believe it's Wednesday already. This week has flown by, in particular, just because we had that Memorial Day Monday off. So we are enjoying this short week here on the show, having a good time. We're going to be talking about a lot of things today. Hey, it's regional season, baby. The tickets went on sale yesterday at 4:03. The Nebraska Athletic Department Twitter announced that tickets to Bowlin Stadium was sold out. It'll be packed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at, Haymarket Park, not Bowlin Stadium. I was still in softball mode there, but softball will be in action tomorrow, 8:30 tomorrow here on 1620 The Zone. You can come listen to it. Shout out to Josh Odson and all of our people who've been working around here. The 1620 The Zone studios can put that together. Great job, guys. So happy we can broadcast for all of you here. Westwood One putting it together, so should be great coverage. So we will have that tomorrow. We will talk about Nebraska baseball and put a bow on our fun little postseason ticket conversation. Did not listen to the segment today, but Happer and Schaefer went 27 minutes reading some messages in terms of people, upset, potentially upset with the ticketing process, along with kind of just giving their thoughts. We'll put a bow on my thought about that whole process. There are some people, and even in the media, who were defending the athletic department when it came to how they processed all of these tickets for the regional, in particular to their regular season ticket holders. We'll talk about, I think some people miss the principle of it all. I think some people, when talking about the season, the postseason tickets and how it relates to regular season ticket holders, it wasn't necessarily about whether or not season ticket holders could get tickets and go to the game. It was about what tickets they could get. And the fact that I think they deserve to have the tickets that they paid for in the regular season and the tickets that they showed loyalty to in terms of showing up game in and game out. Somebody had a great tweet. I think it was Dave Fight had a great tweet on Twitter that said, you can only go to the Lincoln Regional if you went to the South Dakota versus Nebraska game earlier in the year. And I think the low that night was like 39 degrees for that game. I thought it was a phenomenal tweet by Dave. I am one of the bandwagoners, by the way. Okay. I hopped on at 3:00. I did get my GA tickets. I'm not taking anybody's seat. Don't freak out about it. But funny enough, somebody texted me. She was like, "Are you going to the Lincoln Regional?" And she texted me at 2:57 p.m. And I was like, "Oh, crap." And I was in my car and I was looking down at my phone at a stoplight. I wasn't texting, but I saw the text. I was like, "Oh, crap." And I pulled over into a Casey's parking lot and I made sure I got my general admission tickets. I wasn't texting. Don't text and drive. But I just did a little peek, when you're at the light, your phone's going off, it's buzzing. You can peek. Just don't put your hands on it. That's all. I'm being careful. Don't put your hands on it. I didn't put my hands on my phone. So anyway.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. Nebraska baseball taking on the region of death is what CBS Sports has said should be a fun time in Lincoln. We'll see what happens in terms of maybe potentially coverage down there in Lincoln. We will see. I don't know. We're working some things out. But it should be a great time. What was a great time yesterday was watching some really good hockey and really good basketball. Oklahoma City takes a commanding 3-2 lead last night. Isaiah Hardenstein. Team clap for Mr. Hardenstein. That was me. That was on me. I was late on
It's
that
okay.
one.
It
I was
happens.
late on that one. You know what's bad?
Flush it.
You know what's bad when that guy is getting interviewed for how great of defense he played against Victor Wembanyama yesterday. It's this really tough performance from San Antonio. They just seemed off. They just seemed slow. They seemed a little disconnected. Oklahoma City got some great contributions up and down their lineup. Like we said, Hardenstein played great, but can't forget about Alex Caruso, 20 plus. Jared McCain started yesterday. What a great trade by Oklahoma City in February, trading away 3 second-round picks and a first-round pick for Mr. McCain. He has been very impactful for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Off the bench mostly, but actually started yesterday's game for Mark Dagno. So Oklahoma City, 1 game away from winning the NBA Finals, also known as the NBA Western Conference Finals.
That's right.
There is some heat picking up, though, in terms of some media support for the New York Knicks. I listened to Shaquille O'Neal yesterday on the
Big
Rich Eisen
Aristotle.
show with Susie Schuster, and he is saying that he thinks New York Knicks are absolutely incredible, and they definitely have a shot in terms of winning the NBA Finals. Mad Dog Russo. Mad Dog was all over the Knicks. He was, go New York, go New York, go. He dropped such a good line.
One of New York's favorite sons.
He goes, let's not act like Atkinson is Red Auerbach. But
Classic Mad Dog.
well, and then he goes, look, I mean, 76ers, they weren't that good. They won 45 games. And then, let's not act like the Cleveland Cavaliers were the 86 Celtics. The guy can't help himself. So it was there's some momentum in terms of media support for the New York Knicks, which I think just all double backs to the media, especially the ones that are with ESPN, are definitely going to do their best in terms of promoting this finals as, oh no, the Knicks have a shot, in order for you to, gain a lot of interest and watch the games and pop a great rating. I think it'll go to 6. I do think New York is good enough to take 2 games off of whomever it might be, whether it be the San Antonio Spurs or the Oklahoma City Thunder. I do think it was an interesting conversation yesterday that they had on the broadcast. It was Jamal Crawford, who I don't know if I like Jamal Crawford as a color analyst. I think Jamal is good. I think Jamal Crawford's content, when he does talk, is solid. He just doesn't talk enough. He's just a very quiet guy. Like, he's just not commenting too much about what's going on. There were multiple times in the broadcast that Miller and Tirico had to be like, right, Jamal? What do you think, Jamal? Jamal, when you were playing, what did you like to do? And there was, it seemed a little forced at times, but he brought up a great point that it just seemed like Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs, they just seemed mentally fatigued throughout that entire game.
Yeah.
And I think that always double backs to playoff experience. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they got a lot of guys who've been there before. They got a majority of their team, majority of the guys who are playing some big minutes for them have won a championship. If you're Alex Caruso, you've won championships, right? I mean, they have been in these very big, very tight series and these massive moments. I mean, hell, we're talking about a team that a lot of their roster played in the Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and you got to remind yourself that Dylan Harper hasn't really been in that position before, right? I mean, frankly, he wasn't even in an NCAA tournament if you're dating back to college, right? He's never really been in that position before. Victor Wembanyama, you can maybe date back to the Olympics. He was in big games in the Olympics, but in terms of the NBA playoffs, it's a different animal, and it's just kind of a completely different game. He hasn't been there before. Vassell hasn't been there before. Champetti hasn't been there before. Steph Castle. Now, make an argument if you're dating back to college, Steph Castle's been in some really, really big college games, but hasn't been there at the NBA level. I think yesterday you kind of saw the toll of this very tightly contested, highly competitive series. It kind of wore down the inexperienced team. It wore down the team that hasn't necessarily been there and done that. Oklahoma City is the team that has been there and done that. And even though Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had an awful start to the game, I mean, I think he had 2 field goals in the first 23, 24 minutes of play, something like that. I mean, it was not the easiest sledding. He definitely turned it up. And Look, I think Oklahoma City was by far the best team yesterday. I mean, they were just the better team straight up. There was a lot of flopping though yesterday. I mean, it was there were a lot. I mean, it was a little egregious at times. The one thing that frustrates me about OKC and this whole foul baiting conversation and flopping conversation is they don't need to do it. Like, they're good enough to beat you without doing that really annoying petty stuff. They're really good at just basketball. They don't, I just feel like they don't need to act and flail about and cause contact and try and, draw fouls on the other team and weaken them in order to beat them. I feel like they're just good enough top to bottom in order to just decimate teams. And yet they still kind of do that stuff that fans don't like. If we've learned anything, fans don't like teams that are always drawing whistles. And I think we already knew that before. I think we've known that for years, honestly, but it's really come to fruition in this series. But yet 3-2, Oklahoma City leads. They'll go back to San Antonio with an opportunity to punch their ticket to the NBA Finals, where they will take on the New York Knicks. It was funny. Reggie Miller on the broadcast yesterday said, the New York Knicks are hoping this one goes to 7 in order for them to get more rest. There definitely is the conversation, though, between is too much rest a thing? And will the Knicks will they come out a little slow? And they cannot afford to come out slow in the NBA Finals, considering the fact that they more than likely will be, I think, indefinitely, right? They will be they won't have home court advantage. I think that's kind of solidified at this point.
Yes.
So I'm gonna cut. I think when you are a home team or you are the away team in a series where you are not going to be favored to win, game one might as well be the most important game. If you can go ahead, at least of the first 4, in my opinion, I think it's the most important game, because if you can steal one and you can shift that momentum and you can put the pressure on the team that has home court advantage, you essentially steal home court advantage. I think that's a really big deal. And if you don't believe me, look at what happened in that Cleveland series. They went ahead. They had that big lead in the fourth quarter, going to steal a game, take home court advantage right away off the gate. They blow that game, and then they ended up getting swept. So I think game one is going to be massively important for New York. I'm curious if you'd ask those guys, do you want more rest, or would you be okay with this game going to 6? Talking about series that I thought would go to 6, the Vegas Golden Knights have swept the Colorado Avalanche. Absolute masterclass yesterday by the Knights. Watching that game as a hockey lover was awesome. Okay. I love nothing more than a great neutral zone setup. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, when a team sets up in the neutral zone correctly and forces the other hockey team to just dump the puck in all willy-nilly with a very weak forecheck, and they're able to consistently get wingers on the boards and break out through the middle of the ice while also putting pressure on aggressive forechecks. That's what hockey is, okay? That's what beautiful hockey is. And the Vegas Golden Knights yesterday did that. Had a beautiful 1-2-2 forecheck going with kind of the high guy pinching down and then rotating over, and they were just able to put a lot of pressure on Colorado while not allowing Colorado to get any sort of time within the offensive zone. The Colorado Avalanche are such a phenomenal offense, talented top to bottom, with D-men who can force the puck to the net with, incredible offensive players, top one being Nathan McKinnon, who, I don't know, man, when he's at the top of his game, it's hard to find anyone other than Connor McDavid who is better at hockey than that guy. That offense didn't have a shot for 23 minutes. 23 minutes, the Colorado Avalanche went without a shot on goal. All right. That's how good the Vegas Golden Knights were at holding their neutral zone, and not allowing Colorado to get a lot of pressure until toward the end of the game. But 9 seasons, the Las Vegas Golden Knights have been in the NHL. 9 seasons. They have made the Stanley Cup Finals 3 times. 3 different times they have made the Stanley Cup Finals. This was not a series that I thought they would win. They beat the President's Cup Trophy winners in 4 games. And John Tortorella made the Stanley Cup Final in 2004, has not made it since. 22 years later, after being on the couch with his grandkids a couple of months ago, and only coaching Vegas for 8 regular season games, helps lead this team to the Stanley Cup Final. One of the more improbable if not just overall the most improbable run to a Stanley Cup final that I've seen in quite some time. Obviously, hockey's got a really good rapport of having 7 seeds and 8 seeds get into the Stanley Cup final. You'd be remiss if you didn't remind yourself about the 2010 Philadelphia Flyers, the 7 seed who, fun fact, you know who the Philadelphia Flyers played in the conference finals in order to make the Stanley Cup finals? They were the 7 seed. They played the 8 seed Montreal Canadiens in that series. So it's just hockey's got a really, really good history of any team at any point can make a run and do some incredible things. And this Vegas team, borderline on the playoff marker, goes ahead and makes the Stanley Cup final with their new coach. Such a great organization. Mark Stone, Jack Eichel, Mitch Marner, Shea Theodore. But I think the story has to be about their goaltender, Carter Hart, who has really picked up his play, especially in this series against Colorado. Andy with a great chat in our YouTube chat. Don't forget to come to the Zone YouTube TV page.
Hi, Andy.
Andy goes, and the Jets, Coyotes, Mammoth have only made it past the first round once.
Oh,
Pathetic.
no.
Now I'll say this. The Mammoth get a pass. All right. I mean, they're pretty new.
Sure.
The Jets and Coyote, or
it's all the same lineage.
Oh, I
more or
guess
less.
he's saying the Jets / Coyotes / Mammoth. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah, good point there. They only have absolutely insane. Look, man, I'm gonna put my money on Carolina probably to come out of Montreal and win that series. And if Carolina and Vegas were to play each other in the Stanley Cup final, I would take Carolina to win that. At the same time, that is a super talented Vegas team. And clearly what they needed was a shot in the arm. They needed some adrenaline. They needed just some new energy in that locker room. And I know that Vegas is a cutthroat organization, and Vegas has done some very interesting things in terms of doing some things that have ruffled feathers. I'm going to tell you right now, for you really big hockey lovers out there, the Edmonton Oilers want to hire Bruce Cassidy, who was the former coach of the Vegas Golden Knights, Josh Dotson. And what Bruce Cassidy is known for is quick turnarounds. He is known for coming in right away, getting a team ready to roll, winning to the Stanley Cup. Like that's what Cassidy is all about. And Edmonton, who is in Vegas's division, and that is Vegas's division, they want to hire him, and Vegas is stifling that. They're like, he's under our contract. You can't have them. They're blocking that from happening. And frankly, some people are going to be upset about that. I'm not. I don't blame Vegas at all for being like, no, we're not going to give you the quick fix coach for what exactly. I mean, that's exactly what Edmonton needs. Edmonton needs to get this thing turned around quickly so, they can maximize the time they have with Connor McDavid and maybe even extend the time that they have with Connor McDavid. Vegas is doing the cutthroat thing, is saying, no, we're not going to allow that to happen. And that's the type of organization they are, top to bottom. They're just really, really well run, and that's exactly why in 9 seasons they've made 3 Stanley Cups and very well could be on their way to winning another one. Incredible stuff. All right, let's get to what we're going to talk about in the show. By the way, Ghost Dog texted in.
Hi, Ghost Dog.
St. Louis Blues won a Stanley Cup with a mid-season coaching hire. I believe that was the 2019 season. That 2019 season for the St. Louis Blues, in my opinion, does not get talked about enough. The birth of Jordan Binnington. Big game Binnington. Great call there from our Ghost Dog. Let's get into what our show is going to look like today. We will talk about the baseball regional tickets after we talk to Jon Walker at 11 o'clock today. Jon Walker, the Omaha World Herald, going to talk everything Creighton Blue Jays, whether it be basketball, whether it be baseball, whether it be volleyball, or whether it even be track. He had a great track feature last week, so we'll talk all things Jays coming up next with Mr. Jon Walker at 11. After that, we will talk about the annual and phenomenal CBS coaching rankings. Top 25 came out today, so we'll talk about the top 25 rankings. I have some thoughts on the top 10 in particular. Matt Rule ranked 37th, in front of Bob Chesney and behind John Summerall, who was the former coach of Tulane. A fair ranking for Coach Rule. I don't really have any gripe with it. Obviously, you don't want to be Colorado, who's got Deion Sanders 60th, and you don't want to be UCF, who's got Scott Frost, I think like 64th or 65th or something like that. A fine number for Coach Rule, who, we've said it over and over again. Nebraska football has taken strides. You cannot deny that the progress that they have made under Coach Rule over the last 3 seasons. Have they making the strides that maybe we expected when he first got here to Lincoln? No, he has not. Has he, developed players at the level that maybe people thought he would develop players at? No, he hasn't. Is Nebraska still heading in a direction that they weren't heading in before he was here? Absolutely. And so I think he deserves a little bit of credit for that. But we'll talk about some of the rankings in there. Mario Cristobal, Kalen DeBoer, Dan Lanning, Steve Sarkisian. Funny enough, I think those two are pretty similar, Sark and Lanning, in terms of where they're currently standing within the hierarchy of college football coaching. We will then have odd news at 11:45. At 12 o'clock, we'll put a bow on baseball regional tickets. We'll then touch on some NFL quarterbacks and just how wide open the AFC, in my opinion, is this year, and how I think the story of the season is going to be about AFC quarterbacks. I really do. I think that you go down the list of how many great quarterbacks there are in the AFC. All of them have something to prove this year. All of them have a story to tell. And I think that there's going to be a lot of shaking and moving potentially in terms of how we look at quarterbacks in the AFC. Golden opportunity this year for Jackson and Allen. Joe Burrow has, he's got to prove that he can stay healthy and get the Cincinnati Bengals back to the playoffs. Can Justin Herbert and Bo Nix take the next steps in their progressions at quarterback? And will Patrick Mahomes be the same? We'll talk all about that stuff and an interesting CBS Sports ranking NFL QBs through the decades. We'll also touch on some more detailed Nebraska football topics as well. So we got a loaded show for you today. Talk a little softball as well as they take on Arkansas tomorrow at 8:30. Don't forget, you can listen to that here on 1620 The Zone. Coming up next, though, we talk to Jon Walker of the OWH here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Once again, 11 o'clock, which means, as always, we bring in our favorite writer from the Omaha World Herald. Quite the honor, considering the fact we have a lot of people from the publication who come on this show. But he is one of our best and one of our brightest. It's Mr. Jon Walker. J-Dub, how are you?
Yo, I'm good. A little busy. I'm diving into a Creighton women's basketball story today.
Whoa.
Jim Flannery's Jays did not do a lot of work in the transfer portal, but they didn't have to, Matt, largely because a year ago, they brought one of the best freshman classes in program history onto campus, and now this offseason, they kept all of them intact. So, diving into what has been a pleasantly uneventful offseason for Jim Flannery's squad.
Pleasantly eventful is a great way of describing it. You are doing everything nowadays. I mean, you're doing volleyball, you're doing track, you're doing a little bit of baseball, a little bit of basketball. I mean, how have you enjoyed? I'm just a curious, honestly, just personal question to you. How have you enjoyed being the Swiss Army knife over there, man?
No, it's fun. It's fun. I covered state track last week, and I've told people, I think I told Jimmy last week on After Hours. I was on with them while I was leaving state track or something like that, and I was like, I love covering college basketball.
Yeah.
But that obviously, I'm submerged in college basketball for so much of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be able to write or to cover state track or to dive into women's basketball or to dive into track or volleyball, that's it's a nice change of pace. It is a nice breath of fresh air while I want it, but ask me here in a month and I'll be itching for college basketball.
Let's talk about college basketball. Today is the last day for underclassmen to withdraw from the 2026 NBA draft. Obviously, a lot of eyes will be on Mr. Koa Pete in terms of, all right, what is he going to do next season? But, you look at the other news that we've heard in terms of guys who are coming back, right? Fiore Badunga, he will go ahead and put on a Louisville Cardinal jersey next season. We'll talk about John Blackwell, who's going to go ahead and he's going to stay with Duke. And then you got Malachi Moreno, a massive piece for Kentucky, who did not really have that good of a transfer portal cycle. They keep Moreno. He's undeclared, if you will, from the draft. How big of a deal is this for college basketball that just we're seeing more and more of these guys who definitely could be drafted in the late first round, early second round, decide, no, I'm going to go back to college?
No, it's huge because we've talked about it on here, I think sometime within the last month. I don't fault the kids for taking advantage of the system because would I rather be a second round pick and maybe see the court a little bit, probably spend some time in the G League or something like that, right? Would I want to do that? Or would I want to come back to college, be a local star, be a high level player? I mean, we're talking about guys who are potentially getting drafted. So obviously they're solid basketball players and make more in that 1 year of college than you would as a second round pick. It's yeah, absolutely. More and more guys are doing that because increasingly so the money is better in college basketball than it ever has been. And as we know it, there are no signs of that slowing down. So it's good for the game, I think. Regardless of what we think about the system, it is good for the on-court product that a lot of these guys want to come back to college for at least one more year.
Okay, let's play the game of I'm going to give you a player and you tell me whether or not they should stay in the NBA draft and get drafted or if they should go back to college. Let's begin with Koa Pete.
he's probably the one. He's probably the one, right? Where it's like,
give me a
could
first round pick.
probably do either or. I would tell him to stay because he's a projected first round pick, and you can always improve your stock. Yes, you could always drop your stock as well.
Yeah.
So if you have the projection, like more often than not, you should strike while you can before, that projection could go up. And that's the perfect scenario. But he's also an injury away from that projection going down.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, he should probably take it while he can.
Milan Momcilovic, the sharpshooter from Iowa State, who it seemed like for a while he was set to go to Kentucky if he withdraws from the NBA draft, but now apparently Arizona is emerging as a suitor. What would you do if you're Mr. Momcilovic?
See, and I thought that for a little bit he was set to go to St. John's.
Yeah.
He had withdrawn from the draft. So who knows what will happen? I do think for a couple of reasons, Momcilovic should come out, but I can think of like 7 million reasons of why he should not stay in the NBA draft.
Yeah.
Because he will catch an insane bag.
Crazy.
He comes back to college basketball, and let's not be fools. Isn't that what this is all about?
1,000,000%.
Like he again is it's the same situation for all these guys. Like I was talking about with Koa Pete, your stock could improve. Yes. And it could also, it could also drop. So any of these guys run that risk. So sure. But like Momcilovic is one of those guys who is just gonna, like, he does what he does and he's really elite at it. And like that, I guess this is a long meandering way to say he will still be able to do that a year from now if he came back from college. Like his shot making is not just going to disappear. And so, yeah, like come back and get $7 million. We've heard it rumored to play one more year of college basketball and then let it rip.
Yeah.
Because again, he's going to be the same shot maker a year from now that he is now, if not better, is the goal.
Well, I think the argument could be made, though, that the young man is coming off a historic 3-point season where he shot 48.7% from three.
Yeah.
48.7. Who the hell does that? I mean, by the way,
what I'm saying.
he shot 7.5 3-pointers a game. So it's not like this kid is just he's picking and choosing. He's letting them go, and he's hitting it at a rate where, not a lot of people have been able to do that in college basketball. I don't know if his stock is going to be higher in the NBA. And you're right. Like, you can always, your shooting ability isn't going to go away. And I'm sure he can find himself on an NBA roster, even if he comes back to college for a year. But it's hard to imagine that he's going to be able to eclipse 48.7. You're telling me that this guy's going to shoot 49% from three next year? Dude, by the way, that is worth $7 million, without a doubt.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It absolutely is. And so, yeah, it's like, he'd be a first round pick, I'm sure.
Oh, I don't know. Let me look at a mock draft.
See, if that's the thing. If he is not a second round, or if he is not a projected first round pick, then you come back to college, because
I think that's the rule now, by the way.
Draft, like this draft class is crazy deep. And next year's will be solid, but it's not as good as this year's class is, I don't think. And well, I guess it depends. Like if you have guys like Koa Pete and Momcilovic come back, well, then obviously the draft class is better. But this year's pretty deep. If you're a projected second round pick, again, would you want to come back to college for $7 million for 1 year, or do you want to potentially sign a 2-way deal? I know which one I'm picking, but from a basketball sense, it's like really tricky, of course.
So I'm looking here at multiple. During your answer, I looked at 3 different first round mock drafts. Momcilovic wasn't anywhere to be found in them.
Go back.
He is projected on NBA DraftNet to be a late first round pick. So
late first. So we'll comfortably say a fringe first round
pick.
But yeah, like, is that worth it? If you can sneak into the first round, then sure. But like, then it all depends about fit when you go to the second, because again, like, who knows what happens, right? Did anybody think Baylor Shireman would start a significant amount of games for an Eastern Conference contender this year? I know they got bounced in the first round, but they were one of the best teams in the East all year.
Yeah.
So it was like, no. So it was all about situation. So, you know, that's really a lot of what the draft's about. But it's just like, okay, if you think you're going in early in the second, again, you have no guarantee of getting the $7 million that you would get for playing one more year of college basketball. And then if he's projected a second this year, I don't think it would be that difficult for him to be projected a second next year with an extra $7 million in his pocket.
I love how you say 7 million, by the way.
If the money wasn't a factor, maybe this would be a different conversation, but it is a factor. It absolutely is.
Okay, I think we both agree Stojakovic should go back to Illinois, and it would probably make Illinois maybe make Illinois the AP number one team heading into the year. It'd be pretty close. Florida would probably get my vote, if we're being honest. Tanner?
Florida would get your vote.
Florida would totally get my vote. Absolutely. Now that they got Chinyelu back? Absolutely.
I'd probably give mine to Duke.
Really?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
With Sarr back?
Illinois would be up there for sure. And then I can't remember. We talked about this a few weeks ago on what our number one teams would be. We mentioned a second one.
UConn.
Tennessee.
You like Tennessee. I know you. Do you know who also likes Tennessee? Bigelow loves Tennessee.
See? So ball knowers, man. Get with the program.
I think interesting. So Blackwell going back is a big one, because I think this is the classic. Back in 2014, John Blackwell is going to the NBA, no doubt about it. Like, that's not even a conversation.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, it's just I think we're gonna kind of, and I think Tyler Tanner is kind of in the same conversation of like some of these guards where, you know, their value is going to be, all right, putting the ball in the basket. Like, it's much harder to do that in the NBA. You're going to make now more money, at least up front, being able to do that in a lower level of playing college basketball as opposed to the NBA. I don't think there's any question about that.
Absolutely. No, and that's kind of the thing. That's why I'm like, you know, if the money wasn't involved, the conversation around these guys is way different. But the money is a factor. It's the biggest factor in most cases.
A year from now, are we having this same conversation about Jackson McAndrew?
I'd like to think so, because he has, especially, like, he's beefed up quite a bit. Because he spent a lot of this past offseason he spent a lot of this past season in the weight room because he couldn't do much. So, like, he had already put some weight on last summer, and I wrote, like, 3,000 words about that during last season, and then 2 weeks later, he was shut down for the year. Brutal. So, like, can Jackson? This is probably the story of Creighton season, and some other things too. But largely, like, can Jackson McAndrew have the breakout this winter that we thought he would have this past season? That's going to be such a huge part of Creighton season. And so, yeah, like, in a perfect world, the 6'10" guy who has a little bit of a post bag, who can shoot the lights out of it, who is starting to fill out what was once a wiry frame, like, that guy screams NBA prospect.
Oh my God!
But
every day of the week.
We have to see how that translates to the court, because man, he looked good in the very limited minutes that we saw him last year. But he has to do that over the course of the season. I think he will, Matt, but he has to do it. So yeah, I certainly think so. It's definitely a conversation that we could be having about Jackson McAndrew a year from now with a strong winter, because Lord knows, Adam Silver knows that the NBA loves 6'10" sharpshooter.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm going to break my own rule here, but talk about a guy who looks the part. I mean, like Jackson McAndrews, he's it, baby. You couldn't buy it, you couldn't trade it if you wanted to. He is it. I mean, he is the NBA prototype at this point. You like my Dusty, by the way?
So yeah, that was good. So like, I don't know. He has the mold. Definitely.
I mean, he is the mold. Let's be real. He is the mold.
Yes.
He's 6'10", damn near 6'11". He spreads the floor. He moves very well. His aptitude and potential to be good on defense is off the charts. I mean, his athletic ability and mobility, along with his length, give him an ability to be a really, really effective long defensive player, along with the fact that if he can slash to the basket and be a little bit more aggressive, the shooting is there to make him a complete threat on both sides of the court. I mean, he's not in the mold. I feel like he is the mold.
Yeah, exactly. So can that translate onto the court for Creighton this winter? Can Jackson McAndrews have the season that we all around here thought that college basketball thought he could have last season before he missed all but 4 games with a foot injury? So we'll certainly see. But for now,
I agree with you. All right, so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this question here before I let you go. Jon Walker, the Omaha World Herald. I agree. Well, wholeheartedly. The most important player and probably the biggest story heading into the season is Jackson McAndrews. Can he recover and break out in the way that we thought he was going to? What's the second biggest story? Is it the point guards? Is it Wes Enos? Or is it more about what they're going to do in the paint with Arun Say and Wesley Rosa?
Yeah, probably the latter, simply because I think they have enough guards on the roster where, like, and I'm being a pessimist here because that's kind of what we're weighing, right? Like, I think that, like, they have enough guards on the roster that if some of the guys they got or some of the guys they have don't work out, like, they have other ball handlers / playmakers to turn to.
Yeah.
But again, with the hole in the middle of Creighton's defense last year, with Alan Huss wanting to be more disruptive defensively, what they do in the paint, specifically protecting the rim, is crucial. So that's probably more important, that they figure things out in the post on both ends of the floor than they do with ball handler / point guard, because I think that a lot of guys have the ability to, and I think a lot of guys will play make, create some, whether it's for themselves or others. But the fact of the matter is, like, there are only there's only one proven paint presence on this roster at the moment, and it's Osman Arunze. So Trayvon Carter-Givens could obviously be really good. And Alan Huss is kind of the perfect person to help develop him. Wesley Rosa is a big question mark coming from the JUCO ranks. And so they only have one proven paint presence. So that's huge for a team that gave up 1,300 points in the paint this past season and needed a lob threat on the other end. And they got that with Osman Arunze. They added another one, a developmental big who could contribute immediately in Trayvon Carter-Givens. And so how does all that piece together? Well, workouts start June 1.
That they indeed do, and writing will start June 2nd for Mr. Jon Walker. Probably before that. It'll probably start May 31st. We're going to be honest. It probably may even start now. Jon Walker, the Omaha World Herald. You are the man. Thank you so much for joining us every Wednesday. We will talk to you soon, my friend.
Yes, sir. See you, Matt.
See you. Well, we've gotten 3 Dusty Rhodes impressions out of me this week.
Yeah, I think that's right.
We've talked about New England clam chowder twice, and we have sung Les Mis 0 times. So, pretty good stat.
Good week.
Great. Some are calling it the best week. Never had a better week before in our entire lives. I'm telling you, like Jackson McAndrew, I feel like that was a very underrated storyline, if I'm being real with you, from last year's team. Like, I think that obviously revisionist history, everyone knows it was a big deal, but I think that just Creighton had so many other things that were going on that it kind of, I don't want to say flew under the radar, but I don't think it was as maybe big of a deal or as mentioned as much as it should have been. That, there was a lot of expectations that Jackson McAndrew was going to emerge and take that next step as a basketball player and be a vital part of this Blue Jay basketball team. And, I think there was a part of you too that said, yeah, it'd be great to have Jackson playing. It'd be great to see him progress and all of those things. At the same time, if you weren't a 6'10", unless you were a 7-foot paint presence, right? I mean, it was going to be hard to solve Creighton's problems. And so I really, really like what Creighton did this offseason. And I think the most important thing, and Josh, you and I have talked about it, is when they made the moves they made last year, you looked at it and said, okay, they got a lot of talent, they got a lot of shooting, and they have some athleticism, and they're going to be able to play really, really fast. But you knew the defense was going to be an issue, right? You knew heading into the year, okay,
definitely
there are going to be some problems defending, but hey, you got to hope that offense can just consistently be dynamite. And unfortunately, it wasn't consistently dynamite.
You figured there were enough shooters that, like, okay, if one guy has an off night, everybody else will pick up the slack. It'll be 120 to 110, but like they'll outscore everybody. Didn't happen that way.
No. And here's my big thing too. Like, last year I compared Creighton's offense to not the entire team flipping a coin and figuring out, all right, are we going to be really, really good tonight, or are we going to be inconsistent tonight? It was almost as if each individual offensive weapon had to flip a coin to see if they themselves are going to be good. And sometimes you had nights where everybody was off, and sometimes you had nights where everybody was on, which is why you kind of had that very interesting contrast of, all right, you lost to DePaul twice, but you also beat UConn, who was in the national championship. So, and by the way, you beat UConn on the road after getting your butts whooped at home. So this team, though, that they have this season is not like last year's team where I go, whoa, well, this is going to be a big problem. This team makes more sense. Like this team just kind of systematically and how they're built, you go, all right, there's the point guard. All right, there's the shooter. Okay, there's the scoring option. There is the paint presence. There's the backup paint presence. There's your Swiss Army knife. There, like you go down the list and you go, all right, here's the guy who's going to be kind of the dude who's going to be tasked with guarding their best, the other team's best offensive player game in and game out. And so I think this year's team, like last year's team, is talented, but I just think it's overall more cohesive. And it'll be very interesting to see how, Coach Huss, who is known for development and great at developing players, how some of the guys that were under his tutelage as an assistant coach last year, how they might take that next step this year. And also, how do the new guys come in and, undertake a new system? And, the one thing that I would say is a concern, okay? One thing that I would say is a concern this season for me is last year, a lot was made about, hey, we got a lot of new guys, and it's hard to learn the system in year one. That's a difficult thing to do.
Sure.
And Mac talked about it a lot of, we kind of have to speed up the process a little bit and take some maybe shortcuts in order to get these guys along. But, and Mac would cite guys who maybe didn't have the easiest year one under him, but in those second and third years, they really took off because they understood the system. Well, you kind of got the same situation in a way this year where you have a lot of new guys, and it'll be interesting to see, Huss has talked about this is going to be his team and there are going to be unique things about this team, but the bones of what Creighton is still will be there. It'll be interesting to see how they deal with that kind of, I don't want to say issue, but circumstance yet again, where you have a lot of new guys coming in trying to learn their system. So we will see. I'm already fired up for college basketball. I know you got football honk on the afternoon show who's, counting down. I think we're 107 days away or something like that from the start of football. I'm getting excited
Less
for college
than 100.
basketball. I'm getting excited for college basketball.
Yeah.
Florida's Jon Walker's crazy. Florida's going to be insane this year. Going to be better than Duke. I might take Florida to win the national championship in the preseason. They got a old, big, physical team with one hell of a coach. It'll be a very, very interesting year. Let's go ahead and talk about football, though, as I kind of make fun of it there for 2 seconds. I want to talk about the CBS top 25 coach rankings, and I kind of disagree with them. I think some guys are way too low. I think some guys are getting punished for things that are happening off the field, and I think that there are other guys who are in a very interesting situation in terms of their coaching career. We'll talk about that next here on Middays with Matt. right, a quick little car wash here. First off, it was announced yesterday that Brendan Sorsby, his reinstatement has been denied by the National College Athletics Association, also known as the NCAA. He will not be allowed to play college football this season. Our very favorite Paul Feinbaum went on.
Pow!
I don't know if he went on his show or a different show, but basically said that the NCAA is hypocritical and he thinks that they should have given Brendan Sorsby a 3-game suspension and not a full season suspension. So, because, nothing would hurt Brendan Sorsby more and really make an impact, in terms of setting down the ground laws of not allowing college athletes to gamble by suspending him from playing Abilene Christian. So he will go to a Lubbock County court on June 1st, where they will go ahead and make a decision on his injunction. If granted the injunction, it will allow him to play in the NCAA or in college football this season. The Honorable Judge Philip Hayes, the former Texas Tech alumni, was going to be hearing the case. He's since recused himself to disallow any sort of inference of collusion in that case. So we will see what happens to Brendan Sorsby. More than likely, he will end up in the NFL supplemental draft, where he will be the most sought after supplemental draft prospect in easily 20, 30 years. It will be very interesting to see what happens to Mr. Sorsby, a man who, Michael Severe will probably roll his eyes when I say this, but, the consensus from the people who write about these things and talk about these things believe that if Sorsby had a good enough year at Texas Tech, which if you look at that cupcake schedule that they have, he was going to have ample opportunity to look very good playing college football. Some people believed him to potentially be a first-round quarterback, a first-round talent that was intercepted by Malcolm Hartzog.
People forget.
People do forget that Brendan Sorsby lost to Nebraska. People do forget that Brendan Sorsby's bad throw in the back of the end zone resulted in maybe the best win that Matt Rule has had at Nebraska, one might argue.
I would guess somebody covets Sorsby in the NFL draft, but some teams it might be an automatic no-go for because of the gambling stuff, and they just don't want to. They just don't want to deal with it. They don't want to have it hanging over.
Yeah, but you know what? If you can rip that football, Josh,
only takes one, right?
Oof, if you can have a tight spiral, well, I mean, everybody gambles, I mean, he's a kid, he's learned, he went to the gambling rehabilitation site. He was there for 35 days. He's fixed, Josh. It's okay. Don't worry about that. He's going to be fine. That's what somebody will say, which, if he really has taken the steps to solve his problem, man, and he understands what he did and he's remorseful about it, I don't see a problem with the team taking a shot on him. He's a hell of a talent. He's a really good athlete. I mean, he's like 6'5". He runs really well. He's got a decent arm. If you don't think there's any character issues and you don't think that he's going to induce a self-inflicted wound on himself in the future, I don't think there's any problem with taking him in the supplemental draft. You just have to do your due diligence, right? You just kind of have to go through the process of making sure that, you're not potentially wasting this opportunity. My goodness, this Royer guy, this French tennisman just won a set off Djokovic in a tiebreaker. Good for you.
To stay alive.
This is Roland Garros. So do we not call it the French Open anymore?
Well, no, I mean, Roland Garros is the court, the venue.
Okay. But it's the French Open.
Right.
And then there's the Australian Open in
tennis
as well.
That's the thing.
Wimbledon and the US Open.
That's right. You got the majors.
I like the US Open the second best behind Wimbledon because I like that they can wear whatever the hell they want. And they're all in their neon Nike outfits, I think it's kind of something that interests me. But anyway, real quick before we get into our CBS top 25 head coaches in college football across the country, Ross Dellinger, our favorite man, our lawmaking man, or law reporting man, might I say, reporting on lawmakers, in particular, Maria Cantwell and Ted Cruz, a Texas Republican, Ted Cruz, and a Washington Democrat, Maria Cantwell, have adopted a bill I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill. That is called the Protect College Sports Act. What does the Protect College Sports Act do? Well, it precludes the creation of a so-called Super League. It creates an agent registry limiting fees to 5%, permits the pooling of media rights, and bars coaches from leaving their team before the season ends. It's a bipartisan bill with, along with those things, also wants to implement a one-time transfer rule. And when I think it says one-time transfer rule, I think it means one-time immediate eligibility transfer. I think then it will probably allow you to transfer a second time, and you would either have to sit out a full year or you would have to go through a waiver process. I'm sure, the same rules where if your coach ends up getting fired, right, you can then, that transfer window would open up for you. Then I think, I'm just assuming, and I think it would be right for them to allow that provision to allow players to play right away. But just straight up a one-time transfer rule, 5-year eligibility / pro player ban, a hard cap, and the optional pooling of TV rights. So this is a bipartisan bill that has been adopted, and will take a couple more months to get it on the floor and pass it. And there will be a lot of debates, maybe some corrections of the bill, adjustments of the bill, all that type of stuff. But it seems like this is a pretty big step in Congress in order to go ahead and place some of these just rules and sanctions in general on college sports. So very interesting stuff from Ross Dellinger. That, is a big step in terms of somebody getting both hands on the wheel when it comes to college sports, because that's just the entire problem with this thing has been the lack of governance and the lack of rules and the lack of the fact that, Troy Dannon speaks of it all the time. No one knows what the rules are. And when you do know what the rules are, the rules end up changing, right? So it's like every day it's something different. And this bill, obviously it's going to be a long process to finally get it passed. And even if it does get passed, but it seems like it's a step in the right direction for having everybody know, all right, this is what we're allowed to do. And more importantly, probably this is what we're not allowed to do. All right, let's talk about the CBS Sports Top 25 coaching rankings. These are always fun. People love this list. Matt Rule, not in the top 25. I don't think that's a shocker to anybody. Happer and Schaefer did a great job. Matt Rule's highest mark was after the 2018 season, heading into the breakout 2019 season that he had with Baylor. He was ranked 31st. That's been his highest rank as a coach. Now, he went to the NFL, right? So if he was heading into that 2020 season, I'm sure that his number would have been much higher after Baylor had gone to the Big 12 championship game. A couple of observations here. Brett Bielema, ranked 25th on this head coaching ranking. I don't know, man. He's done an insane job and has won 8 or more games in a season multiple times, and it only had been done 5 times before that. Illinois has become, I don't want to, obviously they haven't become a threat to like Oregon or Penn State or Ohio State in terms of winning the conference, but Illinois certainly has become toward that upper echelon of the tier 2 teams that you would place there, like a Washington, like an Iowa. And they finished 9-4 last year. They had won 10 games 2 seasons before that. They have done some really, really good stuff in Champaign, stuff that they really haven't done before from a football perspective under Brett Bielema, and he's ranked 25th. I would easily put him higher, maybe 21. I would probably put him above Joey McGuire. Maybe not in front of Kenny Dillingham. Maybe, I don't know, but I certainly wouldn't put him behind Jeff Brom or Eli Drinkowitz. I think he totally deserves to be higher than that. The rest of this list is pretty good, in my opinion. Lincoln Riley, 17. I agree with that. Obviously, you got to give him a ton of credit for what they accomplished in Oklahoma. His range is fascinating. His range here, it's a committee of 10 people that votes on this thing. His high was the 12th best coach in college sports. His low was 25th. And I think that definitely kind of reflects to you that people really don't know what to do in terms of, man, he was dynamite in Oklahoma and they had won a lot of games and produced a lot of phenomenal players. But at USC, it has not gone the way that people anticipated it to go. And definitely if USC does not make the college football playoff this season, there's going to be some questions about what his future looks like in Southern California. Rhett Lashley, 15th. Couldn't agree more. I think it's been really impressive what that SMU has done, going to the ACC. James Franklin, 13th at Virginia Tech. I think the Hokies made such an incredible hire. And we talked to Brett Cianci about it. Like, James Franklin controlled Virginia from a recruiting perspective. That was a place that he was awesome at getting people from Virginia to Penn State. Now he's in that state at Virginia Tech. I still think it's quite fascinating that they were able to grab that high quality of a head coach. And funny enough, Matt Campbell, Penn State's head coach, who replaces James Franklin, ranked 16th. So Nittany Lions fans probably not the happiest that their fired coach is 3 spots ahead of their new coach. Kyle Winningham, 10. I think that's easy. This is an interesting one to me, and I think it definitely has something to do with what's happened off the field. Lane Kiffin, 9, which, top 10, good for Lane. But in front of him are Kalen DeBoer and Mario Cristobal. Now, I don't have any problem with Mario Cristobal, and obviously his in-game stuff isn't the best, but I don't think you can deny the fact that he is really good at recruiting, and he used his resources just about better than anyone last year, in my opinion, whether it be through the transfer portal or in-state recruiting. And then in front of Kiffin, though, is Kalen DeBoer. And I understand, guys. Kalen DeBoer made a national championship not that long ago at Washington, but he has lost 4 games consecutively in the last 2 seasons, 8 games in total as the Alabama head coach. Real quick here, over the last 4 seasons between Kiffin, Cristobal, and DeBoer, Kiffin is 50-14, Cristobal is 35-19, and DeBoer is 45-11. I mean, it's Lane Kiffin's got more wins. Lane Kiffin has, took Ole Miss to heights that they hadn't gone before. I think what Lane did at Ole Miss definitely gets stained by how that whole thing went down. But I just think from a pure wins perspective and what he's been able to build over there, he was able to build it, frankly, quicker. And if he did stay with Ole Miss, I would not have been shocked at all if they ended up making the national championship game. The top 4 I'm cool with. Signetti, Smart, Ryan Day, Marcus Freeman. Couldn't agree with that more, especially in that order. Schaefer and Happer said something interesting about Dan Lanning, and they were comparing Dan Lanning to James Franklin, and that Oregon is kind of like the Penn State of this year. I'm going to push back on that, but I'll say this. They're not that far off. I think Oregon is 1 year away from that. I think that if Oregon doesn't make the national championship game, or if Oregon doesn't win the national championship this year, we will start having the, can Lanning get it done? Mm-hmm. Can he win the big one? Can he push through? But I also think as well that Steve Sarkisian, who's ranked 6 on that list, is also in the same boat. Sark and Lanning are 2 guys. Here are their, so over the last 3 seasons, here are their records. 35-8 for Steve Sarkisian. 38-5 for Dan Lanning. Okay? Like, they're just 3 games off. Lanning is 3 games better than Sarkisian is. They both have 2 playoff wins, though. So I think, or by the way, these are over 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. My apology. 4 seasons. 35-8 for Sark, 38-5 for Lanning.
There is a prevailing theory as it relates to Austin that Will Muschamp was specifically inserted as the DC to be the interim should that be needed.
I will say that, and this over the last 3 seasons, Sark 35-8, Lanning 38-5. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like, I think both these guys have won a lot of games. They've won 2 playoff games. They've been super competitive. They have very talented teams. but eventually the rubber's got to hit the road. And eventually you got to find yourself in a national championship game. And eventually not just making the playoff and winning a playoff game is good enough for what they're investing in these teams. And so I think Sark and Lanning, they're good for now. But if neither of these guys make it to the national championship game or win a national championship game, I think we're going to start having a discourse similar to what we had with James Franklin. I think we're going to start having the discourse of, can they get it done? Can they get over the hump? Or are they just perpetually doing what you expect them to do with the high amount of resources they have? I think Schaefer made a great point. A lot of Phil Knight money has gone into Oregon for them not to make a national championship.
And Texas has a bunch of money, and I mean, they could theoretically go 2-2, and they have a bye week after that. And like James Franklin is a very unique situation, but it could duplicate itself this season.
We're going to have a quick odd news, and then at 12 o'clock, let's put a bow on baseball tickets here on Middays with Matt.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
We will not do a odd news to end this hour. We'll go ahead and we'll start it at 12 o'clock. We'll give Josh a proper amount of time to do the odd news as it deserves. Do want to do, though, a quick little shout out here. Very interesting list came out from Silver Waves Media from Mr. Ryan Silver, who went ahead and made a list of the top 100 rising ADs / future ADs. Went ahead, right? At least Silver Media went ahead and put together this list of 100 of the better administration workers in college sports who don't necessarily, they're not in the limelight of being the athletic director. They don't have those top billing yet, but they are on their way to doing so. And we have a lot of local flavors, so we want to shout out Mr. Mike Odom of Creighton. It says here that he was the executive associate AD for external operations for Creighton Athletics. We also have some more local flavor with Havenfield Sr. of Nebraska, who is the deputy athletic director / chief operating officer, kind of handling day-to-day football administrative work. And then also as well from Omaha, Mr. Jordan Sarnoff, the man, the myth, the legend, the dude behind you remember the popcorn bucket promotion over for basketball?
I do.
We were smashing trash cans in that magical Omaha men's basketball season. Jordan was the brains behind the bring your own trash can to Baxter Arena and fill it up with a popcorn bucket. So congratulations to Havenfield Sr., to Mike Odom and Mr. Sarnoff. Jordan, by the way, got to know Jordan a little bit at my time here. Do you remember that Fairleigh Dickinson University, when the FDU upset, obviously they had the big upset over Purdue.
I do.
And they had that student who was being the communications director and he went viral. That was Jordan. And now Jordan works here in Omaha. That man will be the athletic director of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. That will happen. That is going to occur. Put it on the long-term list.
What's the Polymarket numbers on that right now?
Jordan Sarnoff in about 13 years will be your Rutgers Scarlet Knight.
Greek freak, director. Put it on Kalshi. Bet you
Absolutely.
won't, coward.
All right, let's hit a break and do odd news coming up next. Josh, a proper amount of time for a proper segment.
All right, we begin. I don't know, in the depths of hell. I don't know.
Florida?
No, close though.
Texas.
What is this computer asking me? Yeah, sure, fine. I'll accept whatever. This is just a list of articles.
Welcome to Middays with Matt, where we both have inept computers. Do you know we're getting to the point where it's like when we have another person on StreamYard, my thing not occasionally, routinely at this point just freezes. They're like, sometimes we were like, why are you looking at the camera the way that you're looking at it? Because I can't see Michael moving. He's just frozen on my screen.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's the worst.
We go to TikTok where...
Oh, God, that is the depths of hell.
The video taking the internet by storm is Bryce Harper and the interesting way he applies toothpaste to himself instead of putting it on the brush like 99.9% of humans. This Cro-Magnon has to... He applies it directly into his mouth.
Yeah.
Like a GD moron. And then brushes his teeth. And America is not okay with this. Once again, everyone is on my side on the Bryce Harper issue.
So first off, I don't care. Okay. Like everybody had an opinion on this and everybody was, I don't care if you brush your teeth like a weirdo. Brush your teeth the way that you want to brush your teeth. It doesn't really affect me.
Okay.
You know, like if that's how you do it, that's how you do it.
Take.
Yes. I don't feel like calling him an idiot or weirdo. And you know, is it weird? Is it weird? Yes. Yes. Does Bryce Harper have clean teeth? You know what? If he does, then clearly it's working for him. You know, I did try this today. I was curious.
You tried it
I tried it. I just wanted to see what it was all about.
Like a crust flavored Go-Gurt.
It was. I use like white toothpaste, so it's a little bit. I don't know. It's not like standard toothpaste, but put it in there. It's just hard to get it to stick to your teeth. Is what I feel like.
Yeah,
you know, it was hard to like kind of clamp it down. Like I felt like I had to, and then you have to work back to fourth, and then you got to like scrub it all the way around because it's just floating around in your mouth. Maybe if I would do it again, I would probably put it toward the front. It would be a little bit easier. Do you know what's easier than all of that? Putting it on the toothbrush and then just applying the toothbrush where you want it to be applied. So it doesn't make a lot of sense and it's very weird, but you know what? You live your life, man. Obviously, you are a man of the NL East, so you do not like Bryce Harper, another man of the NL East. So this is unsurprising to me that he is on your... Do we have a Josh list?
It would be him, J.J. White, and Colin Cowherd.
J.J. Watt?
Yeah, sorry.
Cowherd's on your list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, wow, you said that. Seething.
I mean, I wish I had a staff of writers instead of having to think.
So I did go ahead and I messed up a stat over here.
Would you like to correct the record?
Yeah,
would that make you feel better?
Real
Please,
quick, I would like to
means.
correct the record. So I made Lane Kiffin's, I said that he had 50 wins in 4 years. I accidentally, with Lane, I did his record over 5 years and I did the other guy's record over 4 years. My case still stands that Lane Kiffin has more wins than, you know, Chris Cabal and DeBoer and all those guys. So, you know, probably should get a little bit more respect on the list in terms of top coaches. But I did say to you, I go, it would be nice to have a full staff to make sure that my mistakes, you know, are fixed. It's going to be very, very I
get it.
It'd be very convenient. It'd be incredibly convenient if that were the case. What's our second story?
We go north to Wisconsin, where a driver moved a road closed barrier and continued on their way. You know, we've all aggravated by construction. Who amongst us in Omaha hasn't at one point or another been aggravated by a closed road or an orange barrel? Well, the Wisconsin Department of Transportation said on social media
Those
that the
sons of guns.
Yeah, the Milwaukee County driver cemented their ability to adhere to signs by moving the barrier to the side and driving on wet concrete and getting stuck in said Whit. Now I understand there's somebody that's going to concrete cement. I don't care. Okay. I'm not smart enough to care. You're smarter than me. I concede to you on the concrete cement argument. Okay. There, that's out of the way. It happens every time you say either of those words.
There is a let me look this up. Wisconsin nickname for people from Chicago. It's a very derogatory term. Wisconsin people have.
Is this like what people in the Northeast call citizens of Massachusetts that we can't say on the radio?
Yes. Oh, okay. So a fib. You know what a fib is?
I do not.
An effing Illinois bastard.
Oh,
that's what people from Wisconsin call people from Illinois. They call them a fib. Okay. Part of the reason there is a rivalry between Wisconsin and Illinois. If you are driving in Wisconsin and you have Illinois plates, your chances of getting pulled over are exponentially higher. Okay.
Interesting.
It's just plain and simple. I don't know if that stands here between Iowa and Nebraska. If you're more likely to get pulled over in Iowa with Nebraska plates, or more likely to get pulled over here in Nebraska with Iowa plates, but it stands true in Wisconsin. If you're driving with Illinois plates, you're probably about 35% more likely to get pulled over. There is tension between Wisconsin and Illinois, in particular because of the tollways. Wisconsin doesn't have tollways. Illinois does have tollways. And so people from Wisconsin often get very mad when they have to drive to Illinois because they have to pass through all those tolls.
Sure.
And I pass in the Illinois government, which who could have guessed? The Illinois government, pretty inept. It's a pain in the ass paying those off. Also, it's very expensive to pay off some of the tollways, especially if you're a non-Illinois resident. So, and you don't have all that system set up. So there's a lot of tension between Illinois and Wisconsin. All this to say that Wisconsin people very much do not like people telling them where they can or cannot go on the road. That's probably the easiest way to piss somebody off from that state. And telling them that the bar is closed.
Oh, no.
You really want to make people from Wisconsin mad? Mm-hmm. Tell them they can't drink. They will riot. So that's why they never went to Memorial Stadium.
I'd drink if I lived in Wisconsin, too.
Yeah, me too. Depends on what part, though. If I lived in Geneva, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Great. Lake Delavan, very underrated. Anywhere else, yeah, I'd drink as well.
We end the odd news today in Florida.
Oh, okay. Woman. School. Popcorn. Where are we at?
0 for 3.
Dang.
But for decades, a chiropractic clinic in Florida has used a marquee sign outside its office to host a rotating series of puns aimed at catching the attention of motorists passing by on the adjacent interstate. Very common, right?
Very common.
The adjacent humor has included such winners as, "We never crack under pressure. It's easier to throw out your back than your mother-in-law. We won't stop until everyone is cracked up." You get it. It's a chiropractic office. They're making crack puns.
Yes, I do.
Until recently, the two-sided sign, which changes every few weeks, declared, quote, "licensed crack dealer." According to police,
that's a line too far. That's a line too far there.
According to police, the clinic's sign was vandalized Sunday afternoon by a 23-year-old man who used landscape bricks and a branch to smash the sign, damaging the letters, message board, and interior lights. When confronted by cops, Benjamin Fragale.
Sorry, can I do this properly?
Sure.
Benjamin Fragale.
That's right. Spontaneously advised the sign message was licensed crack dealer, and he thought that was illegal. So he took it upon himself to destroy the sign.
Here's the thing. I don't disagree with Benjamin that saying that you're a licensed crack dealer and putting it out like that's, I don't know, probably like that's a little weird.
I mean, there's definitely someone like a police officer working that beat that was like, okay, I have to come in here.
Yeah.
I have to ask. Like, funny sign. I get it. Funny sign. But it does raise an eyebrow. And I do need to ask if you have any crack in this office.
It's not even that, but like I could see how it could trigger people. I could also see how it's just like if you're in that neighborhood, maybe you don't want a big old sign that says, "Hey, we sell crack," you know? Like, because that's what licensed crack dealer is basically communicating to you. I deal crack. and I'm good at it.
Again, they were not selling crack.
No, they weren't. So I understand people being like, this is dumb, this is stupid, take this down. Call the police, Benjamin. Just be like, hey, there's a sign that probably shouldn't be up here that says that these people are selling crack outside of this office.
And I'm sure you're all thinking, oh, what was this man all hopped up on? Well,
crack?
Nothing.
Yeah, I could see that this is a normal human.
He showed no indication of drug or alcohol influence or any mental health issues.
I think he straight up was just maybe he was a recovering crack addict.
Could be.
And he was offended by the fact that it was funny that somebody was being like, I mean, literally, when you go licensed crack dealer, you are saying, hey, guys, guess what we sell? Guess what we're dealing out of these back doors? Crack.
It is my duty to inform you that Brandon Fragale.
Yes, Fragale.
He was arrested in November of 2024 for allegedly punching his father in the head and hitting him in the ribs with a metal baseball bat after being told, quote, go to bed because he was intoxicated.
Oof. Yeah. How old is he? 23?
23, yeah.
Metal baseball bat to the ribs has got to be up there in terms of worst, just straight on.
That's serious.
I mean, you got to crack a rib or two.
Yeah.
You ever crack a rib?
I haven't.
I've heard the people who've cracked, by the way, if you've cracked a rib, if your buddy has cracked a rib, they've cracked a rib because they tell you that they've cracked a rib, right? I hear it is one of the most painful, it's hard to breathe.
Yeah.
It's hard to sleep. It's hard to walk. It's hard to move. There's a lot of just horror stories from professional wrestlers of breaking ribs sucks. Like you can't do anything. That is one minor injury that I would never want to have happen. Also, too, we have to get a new name for turf toe. Okay.
It just doesn't sound as serious as
turf toe.
The ailment is
awful. Okay. I've gotten mild turf toe before. I haven't gotten the highest grade of turf toe before. You can't walk. Can't move your big toe. Your big toe is very important. And yet we have athletes who suffer the highest the highest degree of turf toe. And it's brutal. It's terrible. And yet we call it turf toe and we think it's something easy that you could just get by on. We got to make that a more serious word to describe the injury that athletes and just other people in general are going through.
Do you have a suggestion on a name?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. Maybe it's got to be either something like I can't. I don't think you could call toe death or toe destroyer or it'd have to be a very long, drawn out, scary word. Where it's what sounds scarier, coronavirus or COVID-19? Well, COVID-19. COVID-19 sounds a lot scarier than coronavirus, at least just from a word perspective, in my opinion. We got to get a very long, drawn out, a lot of words that you never really heard before to describe turf toe. And so I just want everybody to know the severity of the injury. Because it's you go, oh, guy got turf toe. You're he could play through that. It's turf toe. It's not that big of a deal. And then you get it. And you're like, my God, this is awful.
MTP joint sprain.
Yeah,
is the medical term.
That's
no, not doing it for you.
Not doing it.
Metatarsal phalangeal.
Yeah.
MTP.
How about TARS?
TARS, yeah. Oh, he's got TARS.
He's got TARS.
You're a little too young to remember SARS.
I heard about it because of the Rona.
Yeah.
Because of that, then I heard about SARS, and everybody was freaking out about that as well. I was just old enough for Ebola.
Okay.
I was just there.
We cured Ebola here in Omaha.
Really?
Yes.
We got the people with hantavirus over
That's
here.
why.
At UNMC.
Because they were like, oh, they did so well with Ebola. Let's give them the hantavirus.
Let's get the, okay.
In the Nebraska Med Center.
Is it Hanta or Hanta?
I always say hantavirus.
Fanta or Fanta?
John Fanta does not have the hantavirus.
No, I'm talking about the drink, Josh.
Oh,
Fanta.
Fanta. Don't you want a Fanta?
Okay, so it's Fanta, not Fanta. I grew up calling it Fanta just to be weird, I call it
always putting accents on things.
Well, Qdoba, What's Qdoba?
Qdoba.
But
Yeah.
I call it Qdoba.
Qdoba.
Or for a while,
it's a little faster that
instead
way.
of Tulane, I called it Tulane.
Again, a little faster.
Yeah,
You're just trying to
stuff
speed
like-
it all up.
Exactly. Well, I'm just trying
That's-
to be different.
It's classic Matt McMaster.
Tars is a good one.
Yeah,
He's got
TARS.
It's come down. Joe Burrow has suffered TARS. He's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks.
No surprise there. Joe Burrow out 6 to 8 weeks.
That's exactly why I said it. Let's talk about AFC quarterbacks, huh? You want to do that? Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Are they having a moment?
You know what, Josh Hodgson? They are having a moment.
Oh, okay.
And you know what? Maybe more specific. They're going to have a moment this year in the NFL. We'll talk about baseball tickets and AFC quarterbacks. We'll combine our two favorite topics coming up next here on a Wacky Guest Wednesday on the 1620 Zone Radio Network. So, very interesting article came out yesterday by Brian DeArdo of CBS Sports. Basically, and it was very impressive stuff here. He went through every single decade, 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and picked who he thought was the best quarterback of that era, of that decade, picked the second best quarterback of that decade, and then also an honorable mention. Obviously, my expertise begins in the 2000s, so I can't really speak to, whether or not I agree that, Joe Montana was the quarterback of the 80s compared to Dan Marino, or, the quarterback of the 70s was Terry Bradshaw compared to Roger Staubach. Here's a very interesting question I have, though. Can you guess, Josh Hodgson, who his quarterback of the 2000s was?
Quarterback of the 2000s?
The best quarterback of the 2000s.
Tom Brady.
No. He went with Peyton Manning.
Okay.
So I don't know where I would go here. This is one of the more interesting, I sat down and knee jerk, I go, come on. No Tom? How do you not have Tom Brady as your quarterback of the 2000s? He won 3 Super Bowls. He won 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He led a team to a undefeated regular season. He was, a Eli Manning superhuman game away from, being the last team to have an undefeated season since the Miami Dolphins in 1972. How do you not pick that guy to be your quarterback of the 2000s? But you got to remember here, Peyton Manning had 42,254 yards, 314 touchdowns, 138 interceptions, 1 Super Bowl, and probably more importantly, which might put this over the edge, he had 4 MVPs in the 2000s. He won 40% of the most valuable players in the 2000s. Only 1 MVP for Tom Brady during that time. I don't know, I feel like I would lean Brady. You got an opinion on this, by the way. 402-951-1620 is the number to call or text. Brady or Manning for your quarterback of the 2000s. Peyton Manning had 115-45 record from 2000 to 2009. Tom Brady had 97. Well, his record was 97-30. Now, to be fair to Tom, in terms of the counting stats, Peyton's got 12,000 more yards, about 90 more touchdowns. Granted, he's got 47 more interceptions. Tom did not play 2 seasons, though, in the 2000s. Tom did not. He only played 1 game in 2000, and then he got hurt. That was back in 2008, right? That was the Castle year. So he's got 7 seasons in the 2000s compared to Manning's 9 seasons in the 2000s. I think I would lean Brady just because he won 3 Super Bowls. He won 2 Super, and also the head-to-head record in the playoffs between Manning and Brady. Brady had him 2-1. I don't know, man. I think it was a very interesting article. He argued, though, it was Manning. I could see why. I mean, when you got 90 more touchdowns, 12,000 more yards, and 3 more MVPs, I think that's hard to deal with. At the same time, I think when we're talking about all-time players, we know what's what. We know who's better than who. Could you guess the second quarterback of the 2010s? Obviously, Brady was 1. Could you guess the second quarterback of the 2010s?
The second quarterback of the 2010s?
Yes.
Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
Nailed it.
Aaron Rodgers' career, and this is a good topic to have now because he announced recently that this is going to be his final season as an NFL quarterback, and he will finish it in Pittsburgh. Now, Tom Pelissero was on Rich Eisen for a little bit yesterday, and he basically said that obviously, there is a little bit of Aaron wants to fire up the Steelers. He wants to fire up his roster. He wants to fire up the coaching staff. He wants there to be hey, come on. This is my last go at it. Let's have adrenaline. Let's play for me. So I can have one last hurrah, everything like that. Tommy P did not ixnay the fact that Rodgers could be lying and that he could decide at the end of the season that he actually wants to play once again. But
he has intimated a final season before.
I do want to say, though, that with A-Rod, I think that if he gets the proper goodbye that he felt like he did not get in New York or in Green Bay, I think that will probably be it. His career will always be so interesting to me because it's like, I've seen Peyton Manning play. I've seen Tom Brady play. I've seen Aaron Rodgers play. If you were just to eliminate the jerseys and you were to watch all of their primes, okay, and you don't know who's who, and you're just watching a quarterback play football, and you say, guess which quarterback is the greatest of all time, guess which quarterback is either the third or fourth greatest of all time, and then guess which quarterback only won one Super Bowl in his career. I honestly think that if we had a blind watch, you would probably pick Aaron Rodgers just based off of tape to be the greatest quarterback of all time. He played the game in such a just unique and tremendous way. And I feel like we always attest the whole off-schedule throws and sidearm throws and look at what he can do outside of the pocket and no play is dead. I feel like we associate that with Patrick Mahomes a ton, right? The left-handed passes and all the Houdini act. But for me and for my generation, the first guy who was doing that at a high level consistently and killing your favorite team year in and year out was Aaron Rodgers. And I think you look at how Aaron Rodgers played in his prime. I truly don't think I've seen a better quarterback play, just visually, a better quarterback play than Aaron Rodgers in his prime. I watched a lot of him because saw him do that a ton to my team growing up. I was an NFC North guy, and when I wasn't watching the Bears play, you were watching the Packers go ahead and beat whomever. I'm just talking visually. I'm statistically, everything else like that, Super Bowls, winning. It's Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. They are better quarterbacks than Aaron Rodgers. But I'm saying when you just watch Aaron, I don't know if anybody's physical prime and how they look, that 2-year stretch, especially in like 2014. I don't know how many people were better at the quarterback position than him, but he only ever won one Super Bowl. Only one. And then they drafted his replacement. He won back-to-back MVPs, but he just couldn't get it done in the NFC Championship game. Whatever it was, whether it be against Tampa or whether it be against San Francisco, they could just not finish the job in the NFC Championship game. It truly was his kryptonite, was that game against he just always got in that game, whether it be his defense or whether it be a lack of a run game or, you went through kind of that stretch where they had lack of weapons for a bit. Like, they kind of let the guys in the offense get a little old. Like, I do think that the Packers' shortcomings definitely more so had to do with, the defense. I'm pretty sure the best defense Rodgers ever had was the year they won the Super Bowl. But it's just remarkable to me just how in his prime, I don't know how many guys physically were better than Aaron Rodgers. Yet he's going to have one less Super Bowl than Tom Brady, the same amount of Super Bowls as Drew Brees, and 6 less Super Bowls than, or sorry, 1 less than Peyton Manning and 6 less than Tom Brady. Like it's one of those things where you're going to look back on Rodgers' career and really just more so ask yourself, how didn't he win more? Like how did that guy not get at least a second Super Bowl? Won 4 MVPs. Won 4 MVPs in his career. And he only played, that's another thing too, Josh. He only played in one. He only played in one Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's not like he got there a bunch and just didn't, the game didn't go our way. Like, no, he only got there once.
And he had so many opportunities to get there again. And I mean, I mentioned the San Francisco games and the Tampa Bay games. How could you forget the Seattle game? I mean, what a choke that was to lose that game as well. I mean, it's one of those things where I will never, and I'm telling you right, I don't want this to be misconstrued. I'm not telling you that, Aaron Rodgers is a better all-time quarterback than Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. I'm just telling you that I don't think I've seen a quarterback play better football than what he did in 2014. I just don't think I've seen that before. And
that's
I don't
a
know if I'll
Bears
see that
fan
again.
saying that.
It was incredible. But that's the thing. I don't know if it was, I mean, they could have managed things probably a little bit better in Green Bay. Like I said, they let that offense get old really quick, and there was a moment where it's like, where did Jordy go? Where did Randall go? Where did Jermichael Finley go? Right? Like where did these, and they didn't really have replacements for him. But then also too, it's like there were definitely moments where the defense failed him. So just very interesting career Aaron Rodgers has had, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and talk about the 2020s. Who's the quarterback of the 2020s? Well, obviously it's Patrick Mahomes. Sure. I don't think you can deny that. Second on the list, and I agree, is Josh Allen, followed up by Lamar Jackson. If we're looking at stats here, during this time, Lamar Jackson is 57-28. He's 3-5 in the playoffs. He's thrown for 18,280 yards with 145 touchdowns and 47 interceptions. He's won one MVP. His first MVP, though, was before 2020. And he's got the highest rating of quarterbacks of all time. Josh Allen has thrown for 6,000 more yards. He's 73-27, 190 touchdowns and 73 interceptions thrown. What definitely does need to be calculated is the fact that Josh Allen has 5 more playoff wins than Lamar Jackson. Granted, he's played in 7 more playoff games in total. Jackson's got a losing record in the playoffs with 3-5. Allen a winning record in the playoffs, actually, 8-7. Josh Allen has won 1 or more playoff games since 2020. Won 2 in 20 and 2 in 24. And then all the years in between, he's gone 1-1. 1-1 last year before they lost to Denver in the NFC Championship game. Obviously, Allen having 6,000 more passing yards definitely do have to account for the fact that Jackson's got about 6,000 rushing yards in that time. By the way, real quick though, not to take anything away from Josh Allen, I found this out today. I always knew that Josh Allen was a good running quarterback. So obviously Lamar Jackson has the most rushing yards from a quarterback of all time, 6,522. You want to guess where Josh Allen ranks on the all-time quarterback rushing yards ranking? You want to guess where he is right now? Where's Josh Allen?
Sneaky high.
Sneaky high for sure.
Top 10?
Yes, easily.
Top 5?
He's 6 all time. 4,721 rushing yards. It does not say here how many rushing touchdowns. Or it does. He has 79 rushing touchdowns. He's got 4 more than Cam Newton. Have you actually ranked? I did not know this. He has the most rushing touchdowns from a quarterback of all time. Now, definitely does have to do with the QB sneak. The guy is built like Goliath, so pretty easy to get him over the goal line. Josh Allen this year more than likely will end up passing Randall Cunningham to be 5th all-time in rushing yards. 4th is Russell Wilson. 3rd is Cam Newton. 2nd, obviously, Michael Vick. Right behind Lamar Jackson, who owns that record now by 413 yards. So all that to say, looking at this list, it started to get me think about, man, like, I think the biggest storyline heading into this NFL season is how big each individual season is for all of these different AFC quarterbacks, right? Look, ladies and gentlemen, they'll be back. But for now, the Wicked Witch of the West is dead. I mean, Kansas City is in a transition period. All right, plain and simple. They are going to be competitive this year. They're going to be better this year. But I'd be very surprised if they didn't make the playoffs. But I do not think that they are going to be the team to beat like they've been in the past. I just don't see it. Xavier Worthy is going to have to take some really big steps. Travis Kelce is going to have to play better than he did last year. I mean, funny enough, we talk about a guy that we love over here locally, but he's going to have to be a pretty big part in the running game, and that's going to be Emmett Johnson. I like the addition they've had with Kenneth Walker. You addressed that, but the offensive line has got to get a little bit better. And we'll see. Like, I like the Mansour Delane pick, but Trent McDuffie is a very good cornerback that they're going to have to, it's going to be really hard to replace his level of production in 1 year. So I think, Kansas City, obviously, I think going to be much better last year than they were this year, but how's Mahomes going to look? how's Mahomes going to play? Is he going to be really 100% to begin the season? Or is he going to start the season 80%, 90%? How might those early games affect, how the Chiefs do in the early part of the season? And will he look the same? I think that this is, I know.
Does it change his game?
I'm being real here. I'm not going to be the guy that doubts Patrick Mahomes, but I do think it's a very fair question to ask that a quarterback who spends a lot of time outside of the pocket, and you could argue the best part of his game is what he does off schedule and outside of the pocket and the way that he extends plays. I think it is entirely fair to argue or even just simply ask a question, will he be the same? Or will he have to adjust and do another thing better in order to make up for the fact that he can't be as mobile outside of the pocket? I think that's
will his O-line allow him to stay in the pocket?
And so now with Mahomes I'm not going to say his future is in doubt. I won't go as far as to say that, but I will go as far as to say there's never been a bigger question mark on him as a player heading into a season. I think the last time that we had any sort of questions about Patrick Mahomes is when we hadn't seen him play before, and then he ended up winning the damn MVP. So maybe he'll shut me up doing that again. But guy's coming off a knee injury, and all signs indicate he's going to come off of it pretty quickly. So my question for two quarterbacks that we've already talked about in the second segment is very simple. I got one question for Josh Allen. I got one question for Lamar Jackson. If not now, when?
Doors open,
boys. If not now, when? If you're not going to make the Super Bowl now, if you're not going to supplant or reverse your legacy of how you perform in the playoffs, if you're not going to do it now, please tell me when you're going to do it. You guys have played enough football. You've been in this league long enough. You've been in enough playoff games. You've been in enough big moments. You've failed in big moments. You've succeeded in big moments. If you're not going to do it now, I honestly, when are you going to?
I mean, we said this last postseason, and the Broncos and the Patriots met in the AFC Championship.
Thank you,
game.
Josh Allen. To me, the AFC has never been more wide open. It's never been more wide open. You have the Bills, the Chargers, the Ravens, the Texans, the Jaguars, the Broncos, and the New England Patriots. I think all of them have their pros, and all of them certainly have their cons. And so I look at Josh Allen and I say, dude, if you're not going to get this done, if you're not going to win a Super Bowl this year, I don't see how things are going to get easier for you. And I don't know, like, how much more experience does Josh Allen need?
Right.
How many more shots at the big one does he need in order to learn lessons to prove that he can actually win it? How many more tries? I don't think you need. He played in 15 playoff games, my man. He's played in almost a full season of playoff games up to this point. If not now, when? Same thing with Lamar. And I'll say this. Lamar missed 10 games in between 2021 and 2022. He missed 4 games last year. I'm going to be very curious to see if how he ends up looking. Can he play a full season this season? Because, look, I love Lamar. I think Lamar's an incredible quarterback, 2-time MVP. Probably should have won a 3rd MVP, if we're being honest. 6,522 yards, nothing to cough at. 1,081 rushing attempts. You know, that's got to play. It wears down on you. It wore down on Michael Vick. It wore down on Cam Newton. It wore down on Russell Wilson. You know, it's taken some tolls on guys who had that sort of same output in terms of running as a quarterback. It'll be very interesting to see if he can stay healthy this season and be like, nope, last year was kind of fluke and the other 2 injuries were flukes, or no, we're kind of getting to the point where it's like, oh, the Super Bowl window might be a little bit smaller than we think.
I understand that we take this stat, quote unquote, with a grain of salt around here, but Ravens have the 6th easiest strength of schedule preseason. Bengals have the 3rd easiest, quote unquote. So, I mean, they get to play the NFC South this year. So that's what goes into that. But a lot of put up or shut up.
A lot.
Lamar Jackson.
A lot. I think for those two, I'm like, if not now, when? Mm-hmm. And then Joe Burrow. Bruh, you got to stay healthy, and the Bengals got to make a playoff, or we can't. I don't know if the Bengals go another year without making the playoffs, and Joe Burrow has another season where he gets hurt or he doesn't play up to snuff. I'm not sure we can put you in the conversation of top 4 anymore.
I would agree with that.
I think we're going to have to take a step back. I mean, like, we've given, because he's the only guy who did the one thing that no one else has been able to do. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find another athlete in the NFL who has benefited off of one singular win more than Joe Burrow has in this decade. That guy beat Mahomes once in an AFC championship game, and that has made his career up to this point. But the last 2 seasons, they've missed the playoffs. He has suffered injury through those 2 seasons. I think it's put up or shut up time for Josh Allen. I think it's put up or shut up time for Lamar Jackson. I think it's put up or shut up time for Joe Burrow. And then, frankly, it's you want to earn a paycheck, CJ Stroud? You want to earn a paycheck, man? This is your time to do it. You got to have a good season to earn that big extension, because Houston obviously doesn't believe you've done that yet, or they would have given you it, right? I'm telling you right now, Trevor Lawrence, you want to take that next step into that next tier quarterback, you got pretty damn good roster around you who won a lot of football games last year. This is your opportunity. Justin Herbert. It's go time.
Oof.
It's go time. It's go time, man.
I was a longtime seller of my Justin Herbert stock. I have none remaining. CJ Stroud opens up against the Bills and the Bengals, so he can
win 2 big quarterback duels.
Yeah,
right there.
make a couple of statements to start the season.
Let's go, Justin Herbert. What else do you need, buddy boy? What else do you need? We got you your big tight end. We got you a fullback. We got you a great offensive coordinator. You have some really good weapons on the outside. You know, we've given you some running backs to work with. We gave you the coach. You got Jim Harbaugh. You got a great coach. You got a great offensive coordinator. No more excuses about Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt being hurt this year and you running for your life. You got your 2 bookends back. You got your 2 stud tackles back. Is this the moment? Is this the season where we go, all right, Joe, you're no longer 4th. Here comes Justin.
Phillip Rivers retired, and the Chargers went and got Kirkland Phillip Rivers.
This is a big season for AFC teams and AFC quarterbacks. This is the season.
And only one of them can go to the Super Bowl. It might be Bo Nix and the Broncos.
Well, that's the one I haven't mentioned. And he might be the boogeyman of it all. Because you clean up a couple Bo overthrows that he had last year. Denver Broncos are a damn good team. And you know what? Sean Payton is a damn good coach. I would put him as high as, I'm tempted to put him as the 3rd best coach in the league.
Okay.
I don't know, man. It's just the work that he's done in Denver, and he had to work through some things with the Russell Wilson era, but they took the 5th quarterback in that draft, and they've done some really, really good work with him. And his style of play calling and his style of offense has really helped Bo Nix develop into a dangerous quarterback. I'm excited for the AFC, man. I'm excited for who's going to come out of that conference. I'm excited as who emerges as the top QBs. I'm excited to see who proves me wrong and who proves me right. It's a simple question to Allen and Jackson. If you ain't going to do it now, please tell me when. Because I don't really know when. I don't really know. All right, let's hit a break and talk about baseball coming up next here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network. I don't know how big you are into the message boards, Josh Hudson.
Not very.
But there was a massive thread yesterday on a message board. I basically detailed that. Well, let me just read you the headline.
Was it about us?
Canceling my baseball season tickets next year. It's a sad day, but I'm incredibly frustrated with how regionals were handled. I've been a Husker baseball season ticket holder since 2002. Next year, I'll be canceling my season tickets. My regional slot was at 2 p.m. because I only hold basketball and baseball season tickets. I donate to NIL, but apparently that doesn't count. Not everyone values every spot the same. Husker baseball has always been my first love, but it seems like my level of fandom doesn't pay the bills around here. I'm not interested in funding a football program that doesn't produce at all. To the guys I've shared tailgates with, I'll see you at the games, but I'll probably be listening to more on the radio going forward. I'll always be a huge Husker baseball fan. That won't change. As for Dandon, he can kick rocks. That sparked 6 pages of message boards and replies, and basically people just, either supporting or not supporting, agreeing or disagreeing with this thread of a parent season ticket holder of baseball who wasn't able to get his season tickets for the postseason.
Seems like a pretty mundane, that's your right. You do that. You feel that way. You do that.
Sean Callahan of Husker Online, who I know Sean really, really well. I was there in Lincoln, and he was very great to me when I was a young reporter coming up. Really, just couldn't have treated me better during that time. Made a very interesting tweet, and it definitely did get some flack, and there was some tension in it.
Is it the one where he misspelled Trey Taylor's name?
No.
Okay.
He goes,
might want to get that right, Sean.
He goes, for all the people making noise about baseball tickets, still plenty available at 1:15 p.m., including good reserve seats on both the 200 level and the home run level. So I went ahead and I got tickets yesterday, 3 o'clock GA. I didn't even look for reserve seats at that point. I don't even think they were available when 3 p.m. opened up. I just got GA tickets. But I want to correct the record here. I don't make noise about this in terms of season ticket holders aren't allowed to go to postseason games. That's not what people are arguing. Like, nobody's arguing against, the athletic department isn't letting season ticket holders go to the postseason. No, because that's not true. Season ticket holders were given an opportunity to buy seats to be there for the regional, right? Like they were given that opportunity, and then it was open to the general public at 3 p.m. That's not what people are making noise about. People are making noise of the fact that, to me, it is a main principle and honestly institutional in sport that if you are a regular season ticket holder, you get first dibs to have your seats during the postseason. You still have to pay for those seats, and you still have to go ahead and go through the process of buying them. But it's foundational to me in sport that if you are a season ticket holder, you get rewarded. Your loyalty is rewarded by getting first dibs at your seats with your people at the postseason. I don't think people are making noise about the fact of whether or not season ticket holders could get tickets. It's more so rooted in your loyalty should be rewarded by being able to sit in the seat that you've put your butt in all regular season.
Yeah.
That should have happened. And I agree with a lot of things that Dan has done. That's one that I won't come around to. All right. Wacky Guest Wednesday coming up next here on Middays with Matt.
It's Wacky Guest Wednesday. Middays with Matt. Who is our guest? We don't know. It could be anybody. It could be an actress. It could be a singer. Could be your mom. A-O, let's go. They're in the green room. Who's our guest? We don't know. They're all booked up and they're ready to go. Hey, Josh, choose a guest. Make them interesting.
All righty.
Don't screw this up, or this will suck.
Wacky.
It's Wacky Guest Wednesday.
Wednesday here
Middays
on the
with Matt.
1620 The Zone Radio
Who
Network.
is our
Matt,
guest?
You never let the song finish.
Well-
you made the song.
I know, but I don't like the ending part of it.
Okay.
And I like talking over it because it's not my best work at the end. At the beginning, it's beautiful. At the beginning, I'm very proud of it. Okay? First 55 seconds, it's masterful. The back half is a little bit lazy.
Okay.
But nothing lazy about our upcoming wacky guest, Josh Odson. Who are we talking to today?
Well, I wanted to mix it up today.
No Joey Colbert.
No Joey, nobody rooting around the hallways here at 1620 with nothing better to do. This is somebody that the audience has heard from often, but maybe not actually heard before. I know that's kind of confusing.
Yes, it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, friend of 1620 The Zone, future friend of you, the audience, Platcat is our wacky guest today.
Jeez.
You two got anything to talk about?
PC, how are you?
Good, man. Good, man. Getting a little wacky. How we doing today?
This is very wacky. This is the definition of wacky. Our favorite listener. Honestly, if we have anything,
I would never rank the listeners.
I would totally rank the listeners. You know what? Bill Simmons summer segment. Top 8 favorite and top 8 least favorite listeners of Middays with Matt. We will totally do that. Platcat, I believe the Belmont is this week, correct? Is it not, or is it next week?
Next weekend.
Okay.
They haven't drawn the field yet. I was already trying to take a look. I don't know if Renegade might finally just get it done in one of these.
I think I might have to bend the knee and take some of your bets after your incredible performance at the prequel.
Oh, don't! The whole Belmont Saratoga thing.
It's so dumb, isn't it?
Cup of tea in the last couple of years. Yeah.
And it's supposed to be a mile and a half. What are we doing?
Yeah, but we're gearing up for regionals, gearing up for supers, WNBA's in full swing. So we got plenty going on.
Who's your WNBA team, Blackcat?
I'm a New York Liberty guy.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a rust patch this year. INSQ still just starting to work her way back from injury. Same thing with Sabali. Haven't looked great so far, but.
Do you think Breanna Stewart is the most underrated New York athlete of all time? She did win MVPs there.
Oh, New York athlete. That's going to go a little beyond my scope of work. I will fight back with Jonquel Jones' finals MVP performance a couple years ago. She just kind of took over. So Breanna Stewart might not even be the most underrated on the team.
Platcat's 5 favorite WNBA players of all time are whom?
So my first big ticket I hit was when Candace Parker won the one with the Chicago Sky.
Yeah,
I think
that was a big one.
Her one. Sue Bird on the list.
Got to be.
Nafisha Collier. I also have a little bit of Lynx loyalty in me, so I gotta like that.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, we're also going to include Fremont High alum Jess Shepard. Shout out John Bishop.
You have to.
And Toronto, man, I feel like we'll go Nancy Lieberman to round it out. We'll get a good balance.
Have you you haven't been contributing as much to Dog of the Day? Can I ask why? We are in desperate needs of good picks here.
The honest answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of my WNBA picks are currently not originated by myself.
Well, that's fine. You can lie. It's okay. It's okay.
I
don't need to know that. You don't have to be honest to me.
I don't want to be giving out false information or trying to flex on anything I don't have. But you know, we'll get back into it here once the College World Series wraps up. This is really when I get into the MLB, and that's when the dog days hit.
Your optimism of Creighton men's basketball heading into next season on a scale of 1 to 10 is what?
Oh, 6.
Okay. All right.
6.5. I'm not going to say it, but
that range.
You wouldn't say the next word after 6? You don't want to say the next word?
No, we're not going to count today. No, but I mean, I learned rather quickly. I got in way over my skis last year. That's really the first year that I can recall the optimism with the Jays just being that underwhelming.
I believe you called them a Final Four team, Platcat.
It was potential. Hey, it was there. You know, a couple misses here, a couple misses there. Some things break the other way. No, it was last year was a disaster, but Al's a great guy. I think it's a perfect succession plan. I'm looking forward to it. I've been hearing some pretty good early reports. All the guys are about to be getting back on campus here shortly, and we'll kind of see where it goes from there.
What early reports are these? Your sources contacting you, telling you some early returns are good?
Just all the guys are about to be back on campus. They've all been home for a while, bouncing around, but it sounds like everyone's relatively healthy, all things considered. Jon Walker kind of covered the Jackson McAndrew angle earlier, so I won't reinvent the wheel there. But yeah, I think things are coming back pretty strong so far. I'm a big Al Huss guy. I've known him a long time. He used to work the door down at Barrett's when he was a student here, so he's a friend of the program, friend of the community, friend of everyone. I'm looking forward to what he's got.
Great question. Was Huss a good doorman over at Barrett's? Was he a good security guard?
Oh, no, certainly not.
Whoa! Wait, Coach Al wasn't good at the door? Is that true?
You know what? I guess it depends who you're asking.
Was he real strict? Was he real down to business there?
Oh no, I like to have fun.
Okay. Is Barrett's your favorite place to get a Guinness, or do you have another place that you prefer to get?
Oh, it is. I am a hog for it all day. I appreciate the free plug on it. Yeah, best Guinness in town, best Irish pub in town. Great drinks, better people.
I don't know about. I mean, I like Barrett's. Don't get me wrong.
You're a Brazen Head guy. I can respect that.
I love Brazen Head. I will say it's a little bit farther out though. It's a little bit more west than Barrett's for sure. It's all the way on 78th and Dodge. Maybe 78th and Cass is probably more specific. And it's Barrett's is 38th and Leavenworth, 36 and Leavenworth,
43rd.
Okay,
just behind the med center and all that good stuff.
Is the best combination to taste, but the worst combination for your stomach, a Broncos double cheeseburger followed up by a Barrett's Guinness, or is there a worse combination to have on your intestines?
Oh, Matt, I am sitting in the Broncos parking lot right now. I will have to let you know that in about an hour or so.
What's your go-to order at Broncos?
Oh, I kind of go variety platter. I do a 2 cheeseburger combo, and then I get a little bit of fried chicken on the side.
Oh, so you go 2 cheeseburgers, 2 single cheeseburgers as opposed to 1 double cheeseburger? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I'm a picky eater guy. I'm a Josh Peterson. I go pretty plain on the burgers. So,
see, I had a
couple of those, and
I had a hickory burger over the weekend, and not that it was bad, but I don't know if I would order it again.
Not from Broncos, no. You stick with the classics there. You know, you go a big Bronco. There's no need to.
Everyone talks about that big Bronco. I feel like we promote, like it's the Pony Burger is always being promoted, but people talk about the big Bronco more. Do you think the big Bronco is an underappreciated asset at Broncos? Do you think the big Bronco is Jaylen Brown to the Pony Burgers, Jason Tatum?
Oh. The Pony Burger has been 19 for like 8 years. So, yeah, I think that's actually a really good comp.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Outside of Barrett's, outside of Barrett's, Platcat, where's your favorite place to grab a drink in Omaha?
All right. So now I'm going to go a little bit, this is going to go a little outward.
Go ahead.
I'll work my way. Barrett's kind of as my midtown. I'm not a big downtown guy. Sure. Trap Room, obviously, if we're going downtown, no doubt. So we go Trap Room downtown. We'll go Barrett's kind of midtown. Once I get out past 90th, we'll go ahead and go with the Green Onion, 114th and Dodge, as you've heard of.
I love the Grunion.
And then I got a little West Coast sweeper for you. Next time you and Austin hit up Pie Zones, the Nest Lounge is right out there across the street out that way. Great little neighborhood spot. Fantastic drinks, great people. So I will round out my kind of Final Four with the Nest Lounge.
Omaha Man Platcat here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network, Middays with Matt. Omaha Man Platcat. Where does West Omaha begin, in your opinion?
Ooh. I grew up on the Northwest Omaha portion, so I've always considered it 90th was my cutoff. I was always pretty firm and fast on 90th. If you want to argue 72nd, that's fine. I got a lot of South Omaha friends that won't touch past 42nd Street. So if you're a dirty South O boy, I get that spot too. 144th, those kind of people. I think that's the deep West Omaha crowd that cuts it off at 144th or 120th. But I think I'd stick with the traditional answer of 90th.
As an outsider, I wowould say 114th, probably 120, just to keep it as a round number. Is what I would
I'm willing to accept that. If you want to say, when you hop on the expressway going west,
that's where it's at.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, if you want to call it West Roads de facto, I think that's a very reasonable answer as well.
I feel like the expressway is almost like you're in the ether, like you're in the void. Like I don't know what the expressway is, but it just leads to once you get to the funny bone, you're in West Omaha to me.
There we go. I'm right in that neck of the woods right now. Hoping Frank might be hanging around.
By the way, shout out to Funny Bone. They've been having some real acts there. I mean, not that they've had fake acts there in the past, but Frank Kelly, I know Dan Soder was there. I believe Tiffany Haddish was or is coming to the Funny Bone in recent weeks. So great stuff over there. You have a hot sport take that you just want to get off your chest. Typically, we have you in chat form, but I'm giving you the floor here, Platcat. Hot take market here on Middays with Matt, stealing something from USC, as we do beautifully as always. Give me a hot Platcat Omaha man take, please.
This will go kind of in the mildly hot take. Seating-wise, not an upset, but I think Kansas handles business no problem in that regional. Arkansas doesn't do a whole lot for me. It'll be interesting just because the proximity is so close. You're going to get a bunch of woo pig suey, but I have seen nothing to deter me from Kansas, so I grabbed a little bit of that. That's like plus 180-ish. It's not too spicy. I'm also keeping my eye on USC and how they handle their pitching this weekend.
That's very interesting.
If they can save starting pitching and line it up right, I think they have a great chance to advance. That one is incredibly biased, holding a future ticket on that. But I'll go with a couple of 2 seeds and sneak out of some regionals at USC, and I guess KU's not a 2 seed, but not in favorite.
Have you peeked at any futures for football? Have you taken any football future peeks?
You know what you said it the other day, and I started looking at it, man. Kevin Jennings ain't a bad look.
It ain't a bad look at all. It's a great odds, Platcat. It's great odds. And he's in the ACC. Who's he playing outside of Miami?
Anybody that's winning the Heisman's got to win at least 9 games. It's a pretty much unwritten rule. That's right about where their win total is. If they can steal one, you're looking at a 10-win guy that can potentially. I'm with you on that one, Matt. I think we might have to throw a sandwich or two around.
Well, I think also too he brings the ability. If you have a dual threat quarterback, you're always more likely to win. If you have a guy who's electric to watch, which Kevin Jennings has the tendency to be at times. If you can get it done both by air and by the ground, I think you have a better odds at winning the Heisman Trophy. And you look at their schedule. They play Missouri State, Boston College, Virginia, Cal, Syracuse. Like their schedule isn't hard at all. I'd say that their hardest games are against Louisville and Florida State. And so, the Baylor game might be tough in the beginning of the year, but we'll see if Dave Aranda has those guys going. They play Miami in the back half of the year.
We still got Sawyer Robinson around, do we? Is he going?
No, Sawyer. I believe Sawyer went in the draft, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, it's DJ Lagway who's their quarterback.
Oh, that's right.
DJ Lagway is their quarterback. That 2024 quarterback class. Yuck.
Yeah, not great.
Not great at all. Not great in the slightest. The two top quarterbacks were Lagway and Raiola, both on different teams. One of them is a backup in the Big Ten, which is quite the story. How do you feel about the Huskers, Placat, before I let you go here? Husker football or basketball or whatever. Just go ahead and make your takes where you want to.
I'll go recency. I'll go baseball.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest Husker guy. I think that's pretty well known. Same thing with KU. I don't think they have much of a problem with their regional. If they can save Yasa for game 2, I think that crowd down at the ballpark in Lincoln is absolutely going to overwhelm anything that ASU or Ole Miss is dealing with. I think Huskers are at least sneaking out to that super. I feel good about that. I like what I've seen from Hoiberg. Honestly,
great transition.
Yeah, don't need much flashiness from him. I think he's proven at this point that's not the goal. It's not the MO. I like what they brought back. Kapke, watched him a lot at Butler. Interested to see how his game has progressed. Hopefully it has.
Yeah. Kapke, right? Bowden.
Yeah, Kapke. Yeah, from Butler to Boston College to Nebraska. He took the
scenic route to Lincoln.
The traditional route to Lincoln, yeah, as one does.
Absolutely. Well,
and football, I'll kind of leave that up to you.
Yeah. It is what it is. The vibes are the vibes. Plycat, you're the man. Thank you so much for being a great listener. Thank you so much for being a great commenter. I very much appreciate you. Team clap for Plycat.
All right. Have a good one, boys.
Have a good one. You know what Nebraska fans at Haymarket Park can do to help the team? If you're in the outfield, just below, as much as you can. Just force the wind to go into the field.
Oh, sure.
Tiny Baby Ballpark. If Tiny Baby Ballpark becomes Tiny Baby Ballpark, then it could be tough. Arizona State and Ole Miss have both hit over 100 home runs this year.
Some mashers.
I think Bishop was saying that they had Ole Miss got 2 guys with 20 homers on their lineup. Should be interesting. Should be a ton of fun though. Definitely, obviously people are calling it the region of death and everything like that. You got two teams. I mean, Ole Miss has got a really good rotation along with some heavy hitters. Arizona State, they hit the ball very hard and very far, and they could definitely get hot. I do think, though, when you host the regional, obviously you can freak out about who's the 2 seed or who's the 3 seed. Let's be real. Unless you're one of the top 5 seeds, your 2 seed is going to be pretty good. If you are the 13th team, right, you're essentially playing like the 20th team in the country. You're the 21st team in the country, the team that was 4 spots away from hosting their own regional, right? And then, you're going to end up playing a pretty good 3 seed as well. But the advantage inherently isn't necessarily about who you draw as the 2 or the 3. The advantage is you don't really have to stress out in game 1. Hypothetically, I do think it's worth mentioning, though, South Dakota State had to get very hot in order to get to the NCAA tournament. They didn't just they just weren't a solid team all season long and coasted their way through the Summit League. They were 4th or 5th in the Summit League. Ended up getting hot in the tournament, upset Oral Roberts big time in the Summit League tournament. It was the Golden Eagles tournament to lose, and they lost it. And SDSU, who is under 500 this season, it's not like they're just kind of waltzing in or waddling in or limping into this Lincoln Regional. They are striding heading into this regional. So, yeah, it's an advantage that you don't have to play in that 2-3 game at the same time. You still got to go ahead and you got to play your best game. And we saw it earlier in the year. South Dakota State gave Nebraska the best shot they could have possibly given them. They only lost that game by 1 run. So it should be interesting what goes down on Friday at the Lincoln Regional. 3 p.m. first pitch, I believe, between SDSU and Nebraska. Let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit more of college football, touch on a little softball, and then we'll tell you what to watch tonight here on Middays with Matt.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, enter online at 1620thezone.com for the peak playoff giveaway. NBA and NHL playoff seasons is happening while this contest is live. It's peak playoff season. You could watch all the big games in style with a $250 Twin Peaks gift card. I can't believe it. We're almost done with the playoffs in terms of, seriously, I feel like they've flown by. We have one representative in the Stanley Cup final, the Vegas Golden Knights, John Tortorella. Torts. So, I mean, you have 3 years before, John turns into all ego Torts, Like, Torts is awesome the first 2.5 years. And when year 3 hits, he'd be, king of the castle. It gets tough.
He wears out his
He's
welcome.
He's a little bit like Jason Kidd. Like, Jason Kidd, awesome X's and O's guy, but he's going to wear you down, okay? And then eventually you're like, we got to get rid of this guy. Torts probably, same thing could happen to him. Crazy stats to make the Stanley Cup final in 2004 and then not return 22 years later. It's a testament to how he's been the bridesmaid and never the bride for honestly most of his career at this point. But at the same time, a testament to he's 67 and a damn good coach, and there's a reason why he's been able to stick around the NHL for such a long time. Granted, he's been on like 8 different teams, but it's all about Torts, baby. Big game tonight between Carolina and Montreal. We also want to remind you too of one of my, I'm not going to speak for Josh, but definitely one of my favorite places to go and get a burger. Cheeseburgers, a takeout joint. You can get 2 $25 gift vouchers for just $25. It's located in the Blackstone District at 4007 Farnham Street. They have savory smash burgers and crispy chicken, all beef hot dogs and size. Cheeseburgers, guys, it truly does it all. In-store, order online for fast pickup or delivery, and download the new Cheeseburgers app for special deals to earn rewards. You can listen all week to Sportsmanlike Conduct for a chance to win $50 in gift vouchers to Cheeseburgers. Always go to 1620thezone.com to find more deals. We also have all those contests, the Otley Crew, Black Keys, Young Giant, Chris Stapleton, Burt Kreischer, all those tickets on 1620thezone.com. So go ahead, make yourself at home at the 1620 The Zone app. Let's talk about, I am declaring, they're not dead to us, okay? But these annual conference meetings are a drag. They're not a bore because you get some entertainment, but it's just incredible to me that these meetings that used to not matter and you didn't even know were going on have now become, in a way, the epicenter of college sports. Because let's be real, football makes all the decisions. What the football team wants and what is best for the football team is how athletic departments operate. Maybe obviously the Big East, they don't have football, so that's an exception. Obviously, there are some basketball schools who they lay down the law. Kentucky would definitely be one of those schools you'd put into that pile. But for the most part, for a majority of schools across the country, what your football team wants is what's best for the athletic department. And yesterday, I think it was very entertaining. Some of the quotes that we got, I think Mike Elko had a great day. A lot of people became Mike Elko fans because of the fact that he was like, what do I want? I want 40. I want to make the playoffs all the time because I want to keep my job. And the reason why people respect that is people like it when coaches who sometimes are casted behind this veil of secrecy just say the quiet part out loud. And quietly, everyone knows that, oh, what a shocker. The College Football Coaches Committee, loves the 2014 playoff because it's easier to keep your job if you keep, basically trotting out playoff appearances. Mike Elko being like, it's okay for it being hard to make the college football playoff, I think was a hell of an argument. But now today we are in the bitching and moaning part of these annual meetings where the SEC coaches are now, saying things that they don't like about their conference, or saying things in terms of, well, we made these decisions thinking it was going to be this and ended up being that. And officially, no more cupcake games for the SEC. No more Week 12 Tarleton State versus Florida. No more Mercer versus Alabama. No more University of Louisiana Raging Cajuns versus LSU. No more of that. And then today, John Sumrall said that he was upset about the 9-game SEC schedule because they thought coming with it would be a 16-team playoff. They thought, well, we're going to get a 16-team playoff, so that's why we'll go to a 9th game. And now the coaches are currently complaining that, hey, why do we have a 9th conference game if we're not going to have 16 teams in the playoff? And, Sark has called the 9-game schedule a gauntlet. He said, holistically from college football, we have gone from determining who the undisputed national champion is to really becoming valuable entertainment on Saturdays. Look, I know the ACC isn't in this conversation, but if the SEC is going to be one of the big boys, all right, if you're going to be the other conference that makes decisions here in college football, you have to operate at the same rules that the other big boys operating. And it's quite incredible to me, like this conversation of 8 conference game versus 9 conference games, especially when the SEC had this baked in cupcake game towards the back half of their season. This is probably one of the more hypocritical statements that the SEC, in my opinion, has made for years and years and years. And they finally, and they've gotten away with it for years and years and years. And now they're finally being held accountable about it. And all they're doing is bitching about it. The Big Ten plays 9 conference games. Okay. You want to be on the same level as the Big Ten. You want to be able to make the decisions of how the future of college football operates with the Big Ten. You have to do things to their standard. And it's one of those instances where they brag and they talk about how great the SEC is and how strong of a conference it is and how awesome they are. And, we've been the top dog forever. And yet they're so scared to play each other again. If the Big Ten was playing 8 conference games and we were trying to force the SEC to play 9 conference games, and they went ahead and they made this decision and they didn't get the concessions that they thought they would get when they made this decision, I'd understand it. But that's not the case at all. And so it's one of those things where it's like sometimes these meetings are, in my opinion, pretty progressive in terms of, okay, hey, it's good to get to the opinion of the people who are in the room. Okay. It's good to get the opinion of the people who, frankly, are the most conformed. When it comes to the college football playoff, when it comes to NIL, when it comes to rev share, when it comes to the ever-changing world of college sports, you'd be hard-pressed to find people who are more informed than head coaches and athletic directors. And I think that there are times where we go to these annual meetings and we say, all right, hell yeah, man, I totally understand what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're dropping down. I'm thankful for Kirby Smart being like, hey, here's the situation, brother. This is what we're dealing with. This is my opinion. I'm afraid we're going to ruin other sports. I'm afraid that football is going to make decisions that eventually is going to drastically affect sports that aren't football. And you got to think, and you're putting pieces together that, these are concerns that other coaches in the Georgia athletic department and other athletic departments are concerned with. And I think that Kirby Smart communicating that is a good thing for everybody. But then there are moments like this where it's like, guys, what are you even talking about? It's not unfair that you're playing 9 conference games. The Big Ten plays 9 conference games. If you're so great, if you're so awesome, if you're so incredible, playing another power opponent shouldn't be that big of a deal for you. Everybody else is kind of working by those rules. So I like a lot of what's come out of these SEC annual meetings and all that type of stuff. And I do think that, I said this before, like, I think Sankey is leading the way in terms of how we should approach this stuff when we talk about expanding the playoff. At the same time, though, it's one of those instances where some things are just better left non-complained about. And I don't think anybody is showing any sort of sympathy towards Sumrall or Drinkowitz or Sarkisian because the SEC's got to play one more conference game when that's exactly what the Big Ten is doing. We had a little bit of report earlier in the show today. It came from Tim Verghese, and I want to warn everybody. Okay? Putting a warning out here. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. This is by the way, my mother hates it when I lead off something like that. She's like, don't tell me to freak out before you tell me what I'm freaking out about. Don't freak out. Caden Howard, the Miami Palmetto wide receiver, a official commit for Nebraska, is scheduled to return to Nebraska for his official visit with the Huskers. Hell yeah. He's coming June 12th to June 14th. But Caden, whilst being a commit to Nebraska, is visiting elsewhere. He'll be going to Georgia Tech. Going to see Brent Key, going to hang out with Brent Key, talk to him. Okay, cool. Wide receiver, could stay closer to home potentially. Georgia, famously closer to Miami than Nebraska, closer to Miami. And then he's going to go to Nebraska. Hell yeah, go Huskers, Lincoln, go Big Red, facility, the nutrition, Corey Campbell, be a part of the family. Hey, you're already committed. We love to have you here. Can't wait for you to be in a uniform. And then after he goes to Nebraska, he's going to take one more visit.
Interesting. Okay.
Visit's going to be a little bit closer to home, though. Actually, going to be in the state of Florida.
Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of good schools there.
Yeah, Southern Florida, good school. Not that one.
Mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Florida Gators.
Oh yeah.
Chomp chomp.
New regime over there.
Not going to be that one either.
Okay.
He could very well go to Florida State. Hey, hell of a university.
Oh yeah.
Jacksonville State had some good seasons recently.
That's in Alabama.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
My bad. Is Florida A&M in Alabama?
No.
Okay, thank God. Could go there. Not going to any of those places.
Okay.
Not going to Miami either. That'd be a scary one. Anytime your commit goes to Miami,
they ain't coming back.
No, not really. It's like when you have a girlfriend and she goes to Miami for a girls' night. All right. You're not feeling very comfortable about that. All right. You can tell yourself all you want that, you trust your girlfriend and everything like that. But Miami's Miami. Same thing with football commits. Not going there, though. He's going to the University of Central Florida. Oh, no. From June 19th to June 21st, Caden Howard, the Miami Palmetto wide receiver, the commit.
A weekend of margaritas and golden tea?
Yes. And hopefully cars that have fixed dents.
Well, you don't have to fix the dents.
Caden, how do you feel about open spitters?
Oh.
Well, Coach, I love them. You think when Caden Howard plays NCAA football with Scott Frost, when they're doing that, recruit bonding thing, that he'll go ahead and onside kick at some point?
I can be on your hands team, Coach.
You know what, Coach? If I was out there in Ireland, you still have a job. He'll be going to UCF.
Huh.
I just want to say right now, Tim Verghese has been all over this. This has been something that's been developing. I think we've talked about this specific, not Caden Howard to UCF, but Caden Howard still making official visits elsewhere. We've talked about that here on the show. I will say it would be commits flipping happens all the time. I don't really flip out about it, especially if they have contingency plans. And if you've been following Nebraska football, they have been still very tuned in on the wide receiver market, even though they have Caden Howard along with Tay Ellis, who's transferring with Trey Taylor to Millard South. If Caden Howard were to flip, damn shame, but at the same time, I think Nebraska would be able to recover. I think they'd be able to get another wide receiver and still fill out that position when it comes to recruiting in the class of 2027. By the way, they're top 15 now, according to Inside Nebraskan Rivals, after a string of offensive line commits. But if he were to flip to UCF, that's just a headache and just a lot of message board freaking out that I just don't want to deal with. All right. John on Text Groove would go ahead and be commenting about how much Rule blows and Dana Holgerson sucks. It would just be a wave of negativity if that were to happen. And you know what? The vibes of this offseason have been the lowest I've ever experienced them in terms of being around this team.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need that to happen. Okay. We don't need that to happen. Hopefully Nebraska, when they get Caden Howard through the door on June 12th, can go ahead and say, you know what, my man, let's close the door. Just let's close our recruitment. Matt McMaster, during the transfer portal season, a lot of people were making fun of me about it, but I think Placat was saying that I was for kidnapping. But what I was really just for, if when a recruit makes a visit, don't let them leave. Okay. Don't let them go elsewhere. Same thing with, in particular, transfer portal. So,
well, I'm sure Austin would let Dr. Girlfriend, who is committed to Austin, go to, just go to some hot guy's house for a weekend, see what happens.
God, no, absolutely not.
Well, no, it's fine, right? They're committed.
Yeah, being a commit better be like being engaged. If you're committing to my football team, we better put a ring on it, my man. I've never been comfortable, by the way, with the seeing a commit like visit elsewhere. Like it's never.
No, it can't be good.
No, but like I'm just saying from like a personal perspective, it always rubs me the wrong way. Old man screaming at the trees, but why even commit at that point? Like, are you afraid that your offer is going to be uncommittable in the future? Is that what you're afraid of? I would love to ask Mike Schaefer about this. I think Mike Schaefer would have some great answers to these questions. Why commit when you're still going to take official visits? What's the point of committing? We've talked about this on the show. It's now 2 announcements. The first announcement is I've committed. The second announcement is now I'm shutting down my recruiting. It seems like the one that really matters. So just a little recruiting update here on Middays with Matt. We'll tell you what to watch coming up next here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network. What are we watching today?
Well, we're not watching NBA. John, not because it's the NBA, but because it's not on tonight. As the Knicks are
Swept,
waiting.
baby.
Yeah.
Go New York, go New York, go bang bong.
Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals in the NHL tonight in the Great White North. Hurricanes, Canadiens, 7 o'clock on TNT. Carolina leads that series 2-1. Baseball going on right now in Cleveland on MLB Network. They're hosting the Washington Nationals. It's followed by Diamondbacks Giants at 3. We flip it over to FS1 at 5:35 for Rays, Orioles, and then Rockies, Dodgers tonight at 9 o'clock on MLB Network. WNBA doubleheader for Platcat on USA tonight. It is the Mercury and his New York Liberty at 6 o'clock. And then it is the Dream and the Lynx at 8 o'clock. The Scripps National Spelling Bee gets underway tonight on Ion at 7 o'clock with new host Mina Kimes. And on Prime Video tonight, the series premiere. You get all 8 episodes at once, binge them at your leisure, of Spider Noir. Nicolas Cage stars as the down-on-his-luck private investigator in 1930s New York, forced to confront his past as the city's lone superhero.
Is it a good sign when they release all the episodes at once?
It's the trend, but I don't care for it.
I kind of, hot take, I kind of like it when they go week by week.
Yeah.
Like, I know some people get really upset about that. I'm like, that is the point. The point is for you to be enticed and left on a hanger, for you to come back yearning for more.
The point is not to binge it in 48 hours and then for the next 363 daars not remember it exists.
Exactly. You're supposed to. Thank you. Oh my God. I thought I might get some flack for this. Thank you so much. It's always great to be supported by great takes.
Okay. All right, folks, let's talk right now. I'm going to kill your bookmaker. I'm going to rip his throat out. I will blow this man out. I will step on his throat until the man chokes. Let me tell you how. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. I'm on a roll.
Dude, you got to love dogs, right?
All right. So before they lost their last game, the Montreal Canadiens hadn't lost after a loss. If that makes sense. Every time they had lost in the playoffs, they had won the next game. They were one of the best.
Lost 2 in a row.
They have not lost 2 in a row. Thank you, Josh Hodson. Well, they're not going to lose 3 in a row. I'm picking the Canadiens tonight. Jacob Dobish has had an incredible Stanley Cup playoffs. I think he continues that against the Carolina Hurricanes, plus 125. Montreal to win it outright. We will go with the Canadiens here on Dog of the Day. Thank you so much for listening to Middays with Matt. We got a really special crossover coming up within Sportsmanlike Conduct. Stay tuned here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network.